of multiplayer matches. However, at some point, when Daniel was returning home, his father catches him attempting to smuggle the copy of Halo 3 into the Petrick residence. After this discovery, the coveted game was immediately confiscated by Mark. The disgruntled father would put the copy of the game in his lockbox next to his 9mm handgun. While Daniel was extremely upset the night of the confiscation, as days passed, it appeared he relaxed and came to terms with the loss of the game. But this state of placation was all a big show, as Daniel had formulated a devious plot to get his hands back on the game. On the evening of October 20th of 2007, Daniel would discover the location of his father's lockbox.
What's up, Cole?
While his parents were distracted watching television, Daniel would sneak into his parents' room and break into the safe, taking not only the copy of Halo 3, but also his father's gun. At approximately 7 p.m., Daniel reportedly walked up to his parents from behind as they were sitting on the couch. And it's at this point he's quoted as saying,
Merry Christmas.
"You two close your eyes? I have a surprise."
Good to see you too.
The family obliged, and moments later, Daniel would draw the handgun and shoot both of his parents in the head. After shooting his family, Daniel would place the gun near his father's body in an effort to stage the crime scene and implicate his father for the shooting. However, while he's doing this, a visitor comes to the house. Daniel's sister and her husband would arrive to the residence.
Oh, thanks for subscribing, Hydra.
Televised baseball game. Daniel knew these two were coming, but they arrived 2 hours earlier than expected, catching Daniel off guard. When the couple got to the door, they found it locked and Daniel wouldn't let them inside. However, eventually they managed to get in and discovered the horrific scene. Daniel, now in a panic, would take the keys to the family van and flee the property. He reportedly had plans to travel to his Halo-playing friend's house and hold out. But Daniel's escape plans would be thwarted after his sister dialed 911 and reported the murder.
My mom is shot and my dad is shot. My brother's here. My brother said, "Don't come in, don't come in."
Police would intercept the stolen van and take the deranged
What's going
teenager
on,
into
guys?
custody.
Why would my dad shoot my mom? I don't know, man. Lord, please don't let my dad die. Please don't let my dad die.
What comes next is a bizarre interrogation where Daniel shirks any responsibility for the incident. Rather, he spins an unbelievable narrative trying to frame his own father for a murder-suicide.
Crazy bastard. This is about crazy gamers who killed their who killed.
Bedroom, and then walk back out. So I ran out there. My mom, she pointed the gun at me. Then he said he was sorry, and then he shot himself.
The gaming-addicted teenager was taking no responsibility for what he had just done to his parents. Unfortunately, Daniel's mother, Susan, was sadly killed during the shooting. However, his father, Mark, would miraculously survive.
I'm not playing Crisis
despite
Core.
being shot.
I don't even bother to buy it. Don't care for it.
Mark would eventually make a full recovery and would be able to participate in the inevitable murder trial that his son would be facing. Daniel's trial would begin in December of 2008. In court, prosecutors would attempt to portray Daniel as a cold and calculated killer, a deranged sociopath that was willing to kill his own family over something as trivial as a video game. They noted that Daniel had planned out his murderous plot a week ahead of time and attempted to frame his father after the killing. The defense would present a rather interesting case for Daniel. Rather than attempting to deny any of the facts of what had happened, the defense tried to argue that Daniel was not guilty by reason of insanity, essentially claiming that Daniel's Halo addiction was so severe that it caused him to make irrational decisions out of his control in an effort to feed that addiction. His attorney would make an additional argument, one suggesting that Daniel was playing Halo so much that his perception of reality was warped by the game itself, noting that when players die or kill another in-game, they always respawn. You know, the argument basically suggesting that Daniel's mind was so warped and influenced by the game that He literally thought that if he shot his parents, they would recover, respawn, or just magically get better like Halo characters do. It's an interesting argument, but it would ultimately not satisfy the court. After the emotional trial had concluded, Daniel Petrick was found guilty of aggravated murder, attempted aggravated
Lock him
murder,
up, boys.
and tampering with evidence. In June of 2009, 17-year-old
What's up, you guys?
Daniel Petrick was sentenced to serve 23 years to life in prison. He will become eligible for parole in 2030. A lot of time has passed since the Halo 3 shooting incident in 2007. Daniel and his father Mark have both had ample time to reflect on the situation. Prison interviews show an extremely remorseful son and a father that has learned to forgive Daniel for his actions.
I can't count the number of times he has told me that he's so sorry for what he did and he'll never be able to forgive himself. I can't count the number of times that he said,
No, keep that demon where he belongs.
I've always taken responsibility for it. I don't try to deny that. I know it's nobody's fault but my own.
Your dad at that time was fighting for his life.
He not only shot his mother, he shot his father, but his father lived.
He despised you. Do you remember telling us?
You know, could I blame him? You know, in light of what I did today, even if...
What's up? What's up, Raph? What's up, Chris?
Could I blame him?
We all deserve forgiveness. And I will now continue to choose to forgive my son. I want to help him. I want to help get the word out to other people so these kinds of things don't continue to happen like the Sandy Hook.
A tragic story of video game addiction and murder, that was the story of Daniel Petrick, the Halo 3 killer. And that wraps up my Video Game Killers Compendium. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a comment below and leave a like if you liked it. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace.
That's crazy. Yo, dog, I've been so addicted to looking at streamers who cheated, like on gaming, on live streams and got caught in 4K. Oh my god, dude. It was so funny. All right, 1 second. This was so funny, y'all. This was so funny, yo. This
aimbot during a live CS:GO tournament to completing Super Mario 64 with a see-through blindfold. These are the dumbest streamers who are caught in 4K cheating.
So why the donation didn't pop up? No, you donated? It said it didn't pop up. It probably will. Let me see something. 1 second. Do. Did I have to log in? Yeah, it'll probably come up. Let me check my stream labels too. Software or the app itself. Yeah, it didn't. Don't know why it didn't come up. A new update. Yeah, this thing is probably I haven't streamed in so long. It's probably some stuff I need to update on this thing. Well, it showed that somebody has who subscribed to me. Somebody just subscribed to me. Who was it? and that popped up. Maybe it's gonna take a second before it pops up. Hydra has subscribed, and that popped up. So it give it a second. It may show. It may show up. It may show up. You just gotta give it a second. It'll probably pop up. But yeah, man, I've been addicted to watching these streamers get caught in 4K cheating with wall hacks and aimbots and all kinds of stuff.
Aimbot on whilst trying out for a professional esports team. Up until this point, ElmZero had built up a respectable 3,000 Twitch followers for his impressive Apex Legends gameplay. However, while trialing for the pro team Zenith, judges noticed that his aim was almost too impressive.
Yeah, like I'm not really familiar with the piece with like aimbots and stuff like that, so it's really showing me how like maybe I've been dying by dudes who been like, some people get me with these spectacular kills. I'm like, how was this person? This person didn't see me.
Was before locking onto the player with near perfect accuracy. ElmZero was instantly called out in a Twitter post reading, "How are people streaming cheats in Scrims LMAO?" which received a response explaining that he was known for cheating on PUBG in the past.
One of my accounts was banned from PUBG. I was banned by the PUBG court for, my ban message said hacking.
Determined to expose ElmZero for good, another clip was tweeted of him warming up for the match, in which his aim was once again robotically accurate, and with the evidence seeming conclusive, Zenith Esports would make a tweet explaining that ElmZero was not contracted with us and has been removed from our trial process, which was followed by ElmZero deleting all of his social media before disappearing from the internet. Semper0311 was even stupider.
Yo,
as after
like,
going live
motherfuckers getting caught in 4K, bro.
To hide the aimbot program altogether. At the time, he was streaming to a small audience of only 16 people. However, this was enough for one of his viewers to notice the fishy gameplay. Writing in the chat, "Is that aimbot?" On your screen, it has like red squares around them. Semper was dumb enough to read the comments out loud.
Okay, Chris.
The screen has red squares around them.
And after pretending to be confused for a couple of seconds, the stream ended abruptly and the footage was deleted. In the days that followed,
Jay.
Semper denied cheating and threatened to ban anyone bringing it up.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And I didn't, dude. If you want to get banned, you can keep saying that.
Yet after being pressured by the audience, Semper admitted to cheating in the weakest way possible.
There was wall hacks on my computer yesterday on stream. Like, I'm not denying that. I just don't know how they got there.
However, at least Semper eventually...
Like, how do you get caught in 4K and then you might as well just come out the bag and say, yo, I cheated. You know what I'm saying? Instead, you want to say you don't know how hacks an aimbot got on your computer somehow.
He admitted to some kind of wrongdoing, as the next person blamed her cheating on a non-existent.
Now, this chick is hilarious. This chick ruined her whole streaming career. And then she tried to blame it on sexism because she's a woman, right? Right after she tried to say, well, people claim that I'm cheating all because I'm a woman, this, that, and the third. And right after she made that statement, she got caught cheating. This is hilarious. It's so cringy. I cringe when I seen this. Like, I totally cringe. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta turn this off.
The streamer in question went by the name of Miss Q Gemini, and just prior to being exposed, she'd stated that people often called her a cheater simply because she was...
Oh, it's they got refunded?
Female.
You know what's really sad? That sometimes, because I'm female and people are like, you're...
They always pull that because they always pull that. And this is the crazy thing. Most of this cheating stuff is more so males. So you're not being targeted. It's not because you're a female. Most of these dudes that have been called, most of these streams that have been called out are mostly males. And that's the first go-to thing she went to because she's a female.
Exposed, she'd state that people often called her a cheater simply because she was female.
You know what's really sad? That sometimes, because I'm female in Counter-Strike, people are like, you're cheating!
However, the real reason behind why she was called a cheater revealed itself just minutes later, as she'd begin her first CSGO game of the stream with wall hacks enabled.
Yeah, right there. There's the wall hacks right there. And watch how she try to play. It's so cringy how she tries to play it off. That's the cringy part. Instead of saying, you know what, be accountable because I'm wrong, she's gonna you watch with her excuse how she's gonna try to play this off. Let's take it back for a
People are
second.
like, you're cheating.
However, the real reason behind why she was called a cheater revealed itself just minutes later as she'd begin her first CSGO game of the stream with wall hacks enabled.
Ah, what? They're mid. Mid.
Look at the hacks. The hacks are all over the screen. It's snitching on her. Look at her face.
After
Watch.
playing
Look
the
at
game,
her.
She'd come to notice her colossal size mistake and attempted to play the whole thing off by stating that she had some weird glitch.
Do you guys ever get that weird glitch in CS:GO where it shows your rank? That it shows everyone's rank. I played the other day with Rock, and he got that, and now I have it. I don't know why. It's weird.
Which was then followed by Gemini stating that someone named Clara had been playing on her computer earlier that day.
And then she gonna try to throw her friend Clara, if that's a real person, gonna try to throw that person under the bus after getting caught in 4K.
Wait, Clara, hold on. Clara, give me 1 second. Clara, let me just message this girl. Give me 1 second.
Okay,
Why
yo.
is this on my computer right now? Where is this? How do I close this? I need to text my friend Clara right now. She was at my
This
house
is cringy.
today. I'm literally gonna kill her. She promised me she didn't use it on my PC. Clara, out of all people, this is what happens when you let people use your PC.
Realizing that there was no getting out of this, Miss Q Gemini began to trade all of her items to a brand new account, yet unfortunately this wouldn't stop a Twitch ban, which happened later that day. And while it's certainly shameless to blame a friend for the hacks on your computer, it's not nearly as shameless as...
Yo, do you see how? What's up, Hemi? Oh, there we go. Thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. You see how she tried to play that shit off? She tried to, and it's right after she made that statement. People think I'm a cheater just because I'm a woman. And right after that, her hacks came on. She got caught in 4K after making that statement. That's just the chef's kiss right there. That was lovely how she got exposed like that. Like this, I love this compilation. Just seeing people get exposed in 4K and it's so embarrassing. Instead of just taking accountability, and this is people who have Twitch careers, streaming careers, ruined their careers. And the biggest MVP is Alt Control Delete. Alt Control Delete is when the streamers ask people when the viewers ask the streamer, yo, are you using aimbot? All right, hit Alt Control Delete. We want to see your task manager. Alt Control Delete has ruined so many careers. That's the real MVP.
Aimbotting during a professional CSGO tournament, which is what
and this dude right here, this is the worst. This is during an actual esports tournament at an esports arena.
Of Optic Forsaken. Forsaken had joined the Indian Optic group in May 2018, and in the 5 games played after joining, Forsaken had always placed either second
PJ Stupid said task manager for the win.
first. While many assume that Forsaken was nothing more than a very talented player, it will be after flying to a $100,000 prized professional tournament in Shanghai, China, that Optic Forsaken was exposed brutally. The tournament began with Forsaken taking large breaks in the warm-up rounds, as if he was trying to set something up on his computer in the background, yet it would only be after the main matches began that Forsaken's plays became incredibly suspicious. This first strange flick into the ground was followed by countless examples of him locking perfectly onto the enemy,
Yeah, you could tell it. It's not human-like.
and while there was a chance that some of these kills could still be made by a high-level player, it will be with one final matchup that Forsaken's aimbot became obvious.
Oh yeah, video games don't make people psycho. Yeah, of course, they already proven that. Yeah, you right, Ray. Radio, yeah.
After locking onto the enemy through a wall, event organizers called a timeout, and officials made their way over to...
Now this me and Keo and DX Strike was laughing on this part because the tournament organizer came over and said, "Yo, let me check that damn computer."
To figure out if he was cheating. At first, Forsaken refused access to his computer. However, the officials would ignore.
Yo, look at him. He's the one with the glasses. Yo, he is shook.
This look anyway, during which Forsaken kept pushing them
away push his hand away
while he tried to delete the aimbot.
And look at his partners. He has shame in his eyes looking at him. This is the sad part.
Right in front of their faces. Despite having traveled all the way from India, Forsaken and the whole Optic team were instantly disqualified from the tournament, which became even worse when Forsaken issued a public statement explaining that neither his team, manager, or coach had even the faintest idea that he was hacking. The scandal eventually resulted in Optic India shutting down altogether.
Yo, this dude single-handedly wiped out an entire Indian CSGO team. Just like that, off the face of the map. And the sad part about it is, his coach and his teammates had no idea that this man was doing this. And what's so sad about it is, these guys climbed up the rank, and he was always in first place in the rankings, meaning that he was pretty much carrying his team off of cheats. You know how embarrassing it is? Because then you got to think about it. Were we actually really that good? Or was he being carried by a cheater the whole time? That is crazy.
Forsaken isn't the only person in this video to cheat in a professional.
Yo, PJ is stupid. Again, keep that in
tournament, because during a professional Fortnite tournament with a $500,000 prize, the following
this one's crazy.
To a player by the name of Marky Locuris. Despite being down and finished countless times by his opponent, a glitch prevented Marky from being eliminated. Whilst being revived, Marky told his teammate to keep quiet about what had happened, which was followed by the two unfairly killing the player who had downed Marky originally. After continuing to play normally, Marky was approached by event organizers.
That's crazy.
Match, yet he'd refused, stating that what had happened was a glitch and was part of the game. While he would eventually give up and leave, this prompted discussion online about whether Marky had cheated or not. I don't think he is cheating, I think he just went with it. All these kids saying he wasn't cheating. He knew he wasn't taking damage and got revived, and continued.
I would say this, yeah, I wouldn't say he was cheating because he didn't proactively do it. But the thing was, I think he probably would have got away with it if he wasn't caught on stream telling his partner to shut the fuck up, because it was a glitch. The game itself did it. He didn't do it. He didn't hack or anything. The game glitched where he didn't die. Now, I wouldn't say that he would have got away with it 100%. Is because I believe if he didn't get caught telling his team to shut the hell up and just run with it, I believe the other team would have still complained saying, yo, I killed this dude, but he didn't die. So I think they would have brought that into the discussion anyway. I think they would have ended up reviewing the footage anyway and stuff like that. But that's crazy.
Continued the game even though he should have died. That's considered an exploit and is cheating. Fun fact, the first clip was actually a glitch, but he decided to abuse it. There was certainly an argument for whether or not Marky's behavior.
Oh yeah, I might do that, AJ.
Couldn't be said for Captain.
This dude right here. Oh my god. You just look at his face when he get caught. Look, it's just gold.
Who accidentally showed his aimbot whilst trying.
Look at this, dude. This is pure cheating. My brother Keel likes to call it RoboCop, because you know how RoboCop, when you look through the eyes of RoboCop, you can see all the scans and the data and stuff like that. That's what he call these aimbots and these hacks. He call it RoboCop vision. So look at all this.
Prove that he wasn't cheating. Up until this point, Captain Baldy had built up a Warzone kill-death ratio of over 2, yet similar to the Apex Legends player in the beginning, Captain Baldy would be called out on Twitter after locking onto an enemy who was running behind a wall. Another clip then surfaced where Captain Baldy displayed suspiciously accurate shooting. And as a result, his chat began to fill with people calling him a cheater. Determined to prove his innocence, Captain Baldy agreed to show his task manager, yet hilarious.
Here we go, PJ. Task manager for the win. It's task manager. Task manager is the real MVP. The task manager be ruining people's careers. Most of them can get away with it. It's the task manager that reveals everything.
Instead, tapped the key, which brought up his cheat menu.
Task manager? Yo, they want my task manager? Hold up. Control.
And he's cocky. He said, "Yeah, they ain't gonna find nothing." Because he's trying to swipe away the aimbot menu. So he's cocky, like, "Yeah, I got this." Like, "Yeah, you want to see my task manager?" "Oh yeah, sure." And he clicked the button, and guess what? It popped up by accident. He about to, and look at his face when he realized that, oh shit. You see everybody in the stream laughing.
Okay.
The chat then mocked Captain Baldy relentlessly, which was followed by a live Warzone ban later in the stream.
Disconnected from COD. No way. Banhammer.
With the Captain Baldy saga ending with the deletion of his entire Twitch channel.
Ruining
caught on
careers.
checking the Task Manager was a trend continued by Call of Duty streamer Young, although he didn't take his expose as humbly as Captain Baldy did. Young's viewers noticed that he always seemed to know where the enemy was coming from, so just like our last cheater, the audience requested that he show his Task Manager.
Task Manager, dog, is the slayer of stream careers.
Now, Young wasn't dumb enough to bring up the entire cheat menu. However, after accessing the Task Manager, his stream display bugged out and showed a second window where his hacks could be seen.
See, even though he almost got away with it, the Task Manager bugged the game out, which pulled up his second screen and on the main screen that had the hacks on it.
After being banned from Call of Duty, Young would take to his Twitter on which he'd make an idiotically arrogant tweet reading, "Got mad free press.
Yo, what's up,
tonight,
Derpy?
over
Merry
2K
Christmas."
views overall. Some people even posted my gameplay online. Thanks for the shoutouts, people. Really appreciate the help. Although these 2,000 views worth of free press didn't contribute to the long-term growth of his career, as Young hasn't gone live on Twitch ever since. However, Young still looks like a genius in comparison to Twisted Bear, whose Twitch description boldly claimed that he was the top Modern Warfare player. The reason for this claim would become apparent in July of 2020 when he'd go live displaying his skills, only he completely forgot that he had his wall hack.
He forgot his wall hacks were on. He's playing live stream and forgot the hacks is on. When you cheat that much and you're so used to it, it's like you become one with the hacks, where it becomes so normal to you that you forget that it's there, because it becomes natural to your eyes and you forget that it's there. He became one with AI. That's what happened. He turned on his stream and forgot them Jones was on.
The end to Twisted Bear's career was then unbelievably quick. He was banned from Call of Duty, then Twitch, and was never heard from ever again. But this is what separates Twisted Bear from the next cheater, Mr.
Oh, this
Golds,
ass,
who
this
made a much
asshole.
larger spectacle over his cheating ban. Mr. Golds was a much more significant figure in the Call of Duty community, sporting a Twitch follower count of over 50,000. During a live stream to an audience of approximately 1,700 people, Mr. Golds brought up his Task Manager before beginning to brag about how he was so good at Call of Duty that he didn't need to cheat.
Is it the first time you see someone good at?
And this, check this out. He bring the Task Manager. He's talking so much shit. He don't realize that the engine owning aim cheat program is right behind the Task Manager. Manager. He's talking so much shit and not realizing. He brought the Task Manager and say, "See, I don't got it on here," but not noticing it's sitting behind the Task Manager on the screen. He doesn't even realize it.
The game. Have you ever seen anyone playing like me? It's like seriously.
Although he didn't seem to notice that he'd also accidentally brought up his cheat menu, on which he had aim at enemies turned on. Despite having 1,800 viewers at the time, almost nobody was talking in the chat or calling him out for it, showing that he was probably also viewbotting. However, while the chat remained pretty quiet, the incident was shared to Twitter, where it received over 2,000 likes and 700 retweets. After being temporarily banned from Call of Duty and Twitch, Mr. Golds would upload an apology video in which he'd state that he didn't mean to download the cheats.
I truly am sorry about. I didn't mean to.
What does he mean, I didn't mean to? You don't download and use cheats without meaning to. I mean, come on, buddy.
Before going on to try and convince his audience that this wasn't who he was.
This is not who I am. This is really not who I am.
Despite having cheated for months in the lead up to his expose.
Hey!
These days, Mr. Gold's Twitch channel is an advertisement for big cryptocurrency giveaways from Tesla.
He became a crypto bro.
However, a more interesting question to ponder is what happens when a game developer gets caught cheating on his own game. This is what happened to Autonil, the H1Z1 technical director, who was caught using invisibility whilst live on stream.
You can't see me? Oh my god, am I hidden? Oh my god.
Yeah, judging from his reaction, the cheat had definitely been left on accidentally.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, guys.
Damn, I actually feel for the dev. You can tell he felt really bad. Poor guy, lol. However, there was absolutely no accidents coming from
Oh, this
Daniel
one
Jarvis,
hilarious.
who was given a
This
lifetime
one's
ban
hilarious.
of Fortnite after cheating
Then me and
publicly.
dude, they got the
On the
stream.
4th
Yeah,
of November 2009,
yeah, he got his
Jarvis
whole
would upload
team
a video
fucked.
titled Fortnite Gave Me Aimbot, in which he'd explained that he was given hacks by an unknown person in random duos.
Something crazy actually happened. I got in a random duos game, and he was telling me like he can get aimbot and everything.
And that he was going to test the hacks for his video.
Cold stupid.
Aimbot, FOV, aimbot. I don't know what half this stuff means, but it's actually about to be lit. We're about to pop off.
Over the following 7 minutes, Jarvis lit up every single person in the lobby with his insane aimbot accuracy.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh, oh. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Whilst explaining that he was using a new account and a new computer so he wouldn't get banned.
Obviously, I don't want to have aimbot on my main account. I had to go on a new PC. Like, I don't want to get my main PC banned.
Jarvis finished the video by once again reiterating that you shouldn't hack and that his dummy account was most certainly going to get banned.
Never use aimbot, okay? Never do it. You're gonna get banned. I'm 100% gonna get banned on this account.
Yet he probably didn't expect that Fortnite would watch his video and ban every single one of his accounts permanently. In the days that Jarvis would upload a new video titled
He ruined his whole fucking career for clicks. This is why social media is bad, guys, at times. This is why social media is bad. He was willing to put his whole, he's from the group, what's the name of the group? Was it FaZe? Yeah, FaZe.
In which he'd explained that
this dude ruined his whole career for clicks. He didn't have to do this because he's actually a good player. He's actually is a good player. But he decided that he wanted to, for clicks and for views, he wanted to actually show knowingly and show people what aimbotting is and what it does and stuff like that. And now he's like, okay, he was willing to risk that account and that PC getting banned. But they made an example out of him and banned all his accounts. He ruined his entire career for clicks.
He could no longer play the game.
I've actually been permanently banned on Fortnite for life. Recently, I posted some videos of me using aimbot. It didn't even cross my mind to think that I could be banned for life on Fortnite.
Before stating that he was extremely sorry for his actions.
You know, it's obvious that I made a massive mistake. And of course, I would never think about doing anything like this again. I know now how big of a mistake this was, and like, it's just, there's nothing I can...
The video accompanied a tweet by Jarvis reading, "I'm going to take accountability for my actions, and I understand completely why this has happened. I just wish I had known how severe the consequences were at the time, and I would have never thought about doing it. I love all of you who still support me. This is not the end." And while Jarvis did seem quite apologetic for his actions, Fortnite would make an example out of Jarvis by banning any new account.
They made an example out of him, alright.
The interesting thing,
and that's crazy. That was like that. What Fortnite was his bread and butter. That's what made him money. That's what gave him the sponsorships. And he threw all that away for clicks on YouTube to make content. That's like right now with the whole low tier guy being banned. His YouTube channel was his bread and butter. Now it's gone. That is the dangers of being a content creator if you have no other plans or if you're not smart enough to invest your bread into other things to bring back money into so they can support you just in case something like that was to happen. His bread and butter, which was Fortnite, is gone.
Is Jarvis's punishment.
And this idiot
still less severe than Superfast Jellyfish, who might have the craziest cheating story in this whole video.
All right, PJ.
Superfast Jellyfish was a Super Mario 64 speedrunner who wanted to join the exclusive 9-person list of Super Mario players who had completed the game whilst blindfolded. In the lead up to his blindfolded attempts, Superfast Jellyfish had been playing Super Mario 64 for 3.5 years.
Why you like Dreamcast guy, little
leading
brother
him to
or
believe
something?
He had enough experience to beat the game without eyesight, and apparently he was correct, as he'd successfully complete the blindfolded challenge.
When I saw this clip by itself, I knew it was bullshit. How did he know the fire was there?
After only 3 tries.
And he's blindfolded.
However, his ability to complete the challenge with such ease prompted a user by the name of CharlieBrown64 to upload a video titled "Obvious Cheater Fakes Blindfolded Super Mario 64 Speedrun," in which he tears Superfast Jellyfish's run to absolute shreds.
Only a true gamer such as this man would be able to somehow sidestep this Goomba, quickly make his way up the path, and then do this long jump to the next red, all completely blindfolded and with absolutely no setup necessary. Not only does he somehow know exactly where the 1-up box is, but he also knows exactly what direction the 1-up will go in once it spawns, something completely determined by RNG. Then, after chasing it on a moving platform for a completely arbitrary amount of time, he somehow knows exactly when and where to jump to the left. Watch now as
Yeah,
he somehow knows
this look
exactly where
obvious.
he is on the spinning platform and knows exactly where the first pole is. Again, anyone who was actually blindfolded here would have probably just kept holding left and run off. However, this guy is able to make a completely random amount of adjustments to make it onto the pole.
19 days after Charlie Brown would upload his expose, Superfast Jellyfish uploaded a bizarre apology video in which he tried to claim that the run had been faked deliberately.
No, dog, you got caught.
Fake. It was purposely fake.
Yet
There ain't no
nobody
it
said
wasn't
by any of
purposely.
his lies, as Superfast Jellyfish's time in the spotlight ended with a dislike ratio of over 95%.
That's crazy. He got caught in 4K. And they gonna try to sit there and make it like, oh yeah, I faked it all along. You
10 worst reputation.
wait, hold up 1 second. Oh man, the Andrew Tate video and just Pearly Things. Get to watch that later. 1 second. Let me put this in the refrigerator real quick. My cranberry juice. 1 second, guys. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. I just gotta take some trash out as well. One second. Be right back. Whew. All right, 1 second. I gotta get this real quick. Put a new trash bag in my little trash can. Real quick. All right, I'm back, guys. I'm back. So, let me see. What was I doing? I definitely got to see that debate. I'm going to watch that debate later with Andrew Tate and Pearly Things and the Renner chick or Griner, whatever her name is. So, what was I? I was looking at something. Oh, yeah. Low tier guide, because I can get a chance to really watch what happened He got banned. Yeah, so Lil Tier God was banned. And everybody was talking about it.
Geez, this is killing me. I'll explain why he got banned. He got banned because A, he went on a transgender woman's page, and there was hardcore porn on it. B, he had a video of a chick showing her boobs, nips, and all. C, he showed a pic of his ex on his laptop nude. D, after all this, he goes to his second channel and started streaming when he knows he's not supposed to. Side note, Dixon is a real coward. LTG openly treats this dude like dirt and he always runs back to him like an abuse victim.
Wow, that's crazy. Let's see what we got here. All right. There's another YouTuber that I go to and I watch. What's his name? Space Ice. Oh my god. Yo, his channel is so funny. Because what he does is he takes action movies and he always makes fun of them, especially Steven Seagal. And the funny thing about this is because the way he makes fun of the movies, he would point out things that I never noticed, especially if it's a movie I've seen before. He will point out some of the stupidest stuff that I didn't even notice when I first watched the movie, or when I watched the movie even 100 times and never noticed it. And then he will also point out the stupid parts of plots that I would overlook and never thought about. I was like, wait a minute, that shit is stupid. But like I said, man, like this dude, man, I love this dude's channel, dog. Like, let's see, which one we want to look at. Cause this dude, when he does these films, man, it's so damn funny.
Mercenary for Justice is the Steven Seagal movie where he finally showed the world that if you just look past his lack of talent, effort, and quality, that he's still just the fucking worst.
Yeah, well, this time it's different.
It's really not. We first see Seagal doing what he does best, shooting what he can't see, and speaking with someone else's voice.
Get head office on the secure line.
Steven Seagal became so lazy after his career went downhill. His career, like he's so lazy, he got stunt doubles just to walk down the steps, and he even gets like voiceovers for the simplest lines. It's like it's just hilarious.
He thinks he's liberating a country, but he's actually stealing diamonds and oil for these two guys.
I know True Blade Seeker. I used to go to him for Dissidia Final Fantasy content.
Risking their lives so that we can get rich off of diamonds and oil.
While that might sound stupid and nonsensical, they can't even spell Black Ops right.
Yeah, Black Ops. They got is black and it have two P's instead of one P.
What the fuck do you expect? Seagal,
the most decorated soldier in the first Gulf War,
is the leader of this group of mercenaries who, in the middle of a battle, just leave so they can take the French ambassador's family hostage.
I'm the French ambassador.
For reasons that are very poorly explained, but also don't matter, because it fails miserably and the entire family is killed. This seems important, but somehow it never comes up again and has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Even though they're in an active gunfight, none of them seem to realize it. She marches across the battlefield to give Seagal a piece of her mind.
Never learn, will you?
I swear to God, women will pick a fight anywhere.
Another CIA you, isn't it?
While she's doing that, her cameraman is getting fucking annihilated.
Asshole!
This is Seagal's best friend, who just stands out in the open.
I should have dragged you into this, John.
Bitching instead of fighting. Then, when they try to evac, they spend a ridiculous amount of time arguing outside the helicopter.
You don't mind me throwing a grenade up in his helicopter.
Instead of just getting the fuck out of there.
Forget about it.
Because of that stupid shit, they're on a tight schedule and don't have time to wait for
Dog.
Seagal to waddle run this short distance. So they say fuck it.
Dog, he needs a stunt man just to run to the helicopter. Like, Steven Seagal became so fucking fat, so fucking lazy. He gets a stunt double, like I said, just to walk downstairs or just to walk down a hallway.
And take his body double instead. It turns out, sending 10 guys to take on an entire army is really fucking stupid. To be fair, that army was French.
So stand the fuck down.
But still.
Everyone stand down.
So Seagal visits his dead friend's family to tell them how stupidly he died. After spending some time hitting on his best friend's widow, he then sees an SUV out the window, and since he's a fucking psycho, he makes his body double.
His
jumps the
plots
walls
never make
while
any
he
sense.
teleports behind them and just executes them. We never get a clear answer on what the fuck that was, and Seagal then gets kidnapped by his own crew. They bring him to the black OPP guy who will kill Seagal's friend's family.
Please, John, don't let them hurt my baby.
If he doesn't help break a billionaire son out of prison in South Africa.
The most secure facility in Ranville.
They're also taking that family to South
How
Africa.
convenient.
They say they're going to take us to Africa.
Talk about convenient. Now the CIA guy really needs to find OPP for reasons that are never explained.
I want to search up all the high-end hotels in Miami.
And since the writing in this movie is total shit, he just happens to see one of Seagal's crew at that exact moment.
Never mind.
He just walks up, steals her briefcase, and tells her she works for him now.
You work for me now.
She agrees, even though she doesn't know who the fuck he is.
Sorry, have we met before?
Oh, we partied on the same island once.
What the hell
What?
does that mean? Seagal's plane lands in South Africa and must
Makes-
have had a big and tall store because Seagal comes out.
He comes out with a suit. How he had a hoodie, and he had a jacket and jeans on. Then the next scene he walks out with a suit. Like so inconsistent. The continuity is messed up. Steven Seagal do not give a damn with his movies.
A completely different outfit. That leads to a crazy Home Alone mix-up where they leave Seagal at the airport and end up taking this guy along.
Look, he got a stunt double to come out the car. He has a stunt double just to walk outside the car.
By mistake. And nobody notices for 3
Yeah.
hours.
He has a stunt double just to walk around the house. Like how lazy can you be?
Seagal takes an Uber, and now they go over the mission.
Deshaun Jr. is being kept at the most secure facility in Ranville.
There is no way that fucked up building is the most secure anything.
So this is what's gonna happen.
So Seagal tells them his dumb plan.
There's gonna be a shift change. Because of the larger number of guards, they're disabling their alarm system.
It's nice the alarm system is off for a couple minutes, but there's twice as many guards, you fucking moron. But that's somehow only the second dumbest plan at the table.
Why don't we use nerve gas on these pussies?
You know you've crossed a line when you say something so stupid, not even Seagal can believe it.
With nerve gas, we're quite afraid that we may kill everybody, especially our boy.
For daring to outdumb him in his own movie, Seagal
Cold,
decides
stupid.
to kick his ass.
You wanna dance,
But he's also tired from all the walking his body double did. So he makes John Kreese and Paul Walker's love child come to him and gives us his best fight scene in the last 10 years. Get up! I thought Seagal was a goner when Paul Kreese pulled out the old stick your arm out next to him move. But Seagal doesn't call himself the Great One for nothing. They forget to finish their plan, but nobody notices because this movie's fucking stupid. Alright. Now, we're back with them, and she lies and tells her pimp that Seagal's crew's Black Op is a bank robbery.
This is absurd. Totally absurd.
Yes, everything about this is fucking absurd. Even this memo with a badly photoshopped CIA logo.
Badly
worst
photoshopped.
letter spacing I have ever seen. But it's a Seagal movie where everyone's dumb as shit. So the police chief goes along with it.
Well, let's sign you in.
And gives them a tour while explaining all the security measures.
The doors are titanium vanadium alloy.
And how to beat them.
Vault itself is opened only with 2 magnetic strip keys.
OPP finds out she's secretly working for him and wants her killed.
We do need to do something about her.
Yo, what's up, John?
What?
Who's going to do it?
I'll do it.
Well done.
I love Space Ice, man. I love his channel.
Even done anything yet. Nothing
Exactly.
about this scene makes any fucking sense. So
Like, this dude, he brings attention to a lot of details that I myself, like, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, that makes no damn sense. That's what makes this channel so hilarious.
Seagal goes to kill her, but gets hungry, and they make a quick stop at the fanciest buffet in town. But he's really feeling those burritos from earlier, and after destroying the bathroom for a good 30 minutes, they send security in to check on him and find that he's standing on the fucking toilet.
Ran
Worried
stupid.
that security's going to alert the tabloids to whatever this weird shit is that he's into, he beats the living fuck out of him in such a vicious way.
He didn't even hit him.
Question if he's ever actually seen a punch before.
Look, he didn't even hit him.
Then the scene ends with them dancing while she vows to fire her fucking agent. Now the CIA guy just decides out of nowhere.
Motherfucker's hidden the bank.
He's hitting the bank right now. I want every cop in this godforsaken place at that bank right now.
They're not. They're actually at the prison slaughtering all the innocent guards. But that was a setup too, and the guy they're looking for isn't there. Where is he? No fucking idea. The
And
movie
they- and-
never tells us, and we
And of all Steven Seagal's recent movies, like, 'cause I grew up watching Steven Seagal, Van Damme, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone. They were like my favorite action heroes. I used to love me some Steven Seagal. Like, he was my favorite. Out for Justice, Marked for Death. It was so many movies that I enjoyed from him. But after Under Siege and all those other movies had pretty much came and went, he was hard to work with in Hollywood. So Hollywood wasn't nothing to do with Steven Seagal because he was arrogant. He used to hurt the stuntmen. He was also a womanizer too. He done a lot of things. Like, he did a lot of what do you call it, casting couches with a lot of his female co-stars and stuff like that. And did you know that he was married to Peg from Married with Children? You know she was married to Steven Seagal. But as I was saying, then after that he went off the radar. He didn't do another Hollywood movie until he did that movie with DMX, Exit Wounds. When he came back to Hollywood with Exit Wounds. And I thought it was pretty cool because I haven't seen Steven Seagal in a long time. So it was cool to see him back on the big screen again. And then he did something with DMX. And then he did another movie with Ja Rule, which that shit was whack as hell. But after that, he went back out of Hollywood again because he's hard to work with. And ever since then, he's been writing his own films, and they all been trash, they all been garbage. But Steven Seagal's name, especially in the independent film, his name still pulls a lot of weight. So most of the budget and most of the money, it goes to paying him. And what happens is people, when you have Steven Seagal name, if you're an independent film producer, writer, and stuff like that, you want to have Steven Seagal in your movie to make people watch it and stuff like that. So this dude, when he has so much pull, he still dictates to what happens in the movies. Every movie, a girl's he goes to a strip club. Every movie, the girl always wants to fuck him. And every movie, he doesn't get hurt. Like, he's just broken. He's just OP. He always beats up the bad guys. Even the villain never puts up a fight or whatever like that. And then on top of that, as he started getting older, he started getting fatter. And then he started getting like stunt doubles just to do simple stuff, like walking up the steps, taking the elevator. And then sometimes, and find out that he does like one take. And if he screws the take up, he don't want to take it again. So they had to get people to dub his voice. Do it like a dub over his voice because he fucks up and don't want to do it over again. So he does what he wants and stuff like that. But at the same time, it creates gold content for like content creators like Space Ice because it's very, very funny. And a lot of when he writes movies too, a lot of them have no coherency at all. And then he will bring up plot points but never address those points. They just up and disappear. And it's just funny how he brings the stuff to attention. I think he lost to Mike Tyson though. And guess what? That Mike Tyson film, he wasn't even fighting Mike Tyson. That was an all stunt double. He wasn't even there for most of the movie. That it's funny as hell.
To try and make any sense of it, they don't even notice that Seagal's not with them. They probably thought one of these guys who've literally never been seen in the movie before right now was one of his body doubles. Luckily, they all die, and this show is one step closer to being over. Now, CIA guy decides they're going to hit the prison.
It's a diversion. They hit him Raphael prison.
Only they already hit the prison, and it wasn't a diversion because there was no reason to think they were at the bank in the first place.
That's a fucking ghost.
No, you're just fucking stupid. Why the fuck are you people even listening to him? Now, they really are going after the bank, and holy shit, the only thing dumber than Seagal's plan are the employees.
As you know, we've received some credible intel that there's a bomb threat here.
I don't know what their procedure is in a bomb.
That room looks green screen like a motherfucker for some reason to me.
But you usually evacuate. You don't rush towards the bomb. But whatever. The rest of Seagal's elaborate Ocean's 11 style heist is to just use this magic box to bypass everything. His reason for hitting the bank was to threaten to drain the account of a general out of Greece if he
Oh my God.
the billionaire who hired OPP.
Get me the army chief of staff.
I don't know why he uses a bank in South Africa, and that billionaire doesn't even know who Seagal is, so I don't know what the point of any of this was.
Asshole alert.
It was probably just an excuse to do what he loves most, slaughter innocent people. And shoot before he's even aiming. After creating many orphans and widows, Seagal recognizes CIA guy as also being responsible for unnecessary deaths and spares him out of professional courtesy. Seagal deposited $32 million into CIA guy's account, so they arrest him.
Which makes no fucking sense
You,
at
Mr.
all.
Gresham, are under arrest.
Even though the police chief witnessed everything, their surveillance video, and he was knocked the fuck out, they're not fooled by any of that. They got their man. Which is great, because now this terrible fucking movie is finally over.
Wait a minute now, we got unfinished business.
God damn it. I was hoping he'd forget about them. They somehow know exactly where they're at and head straight there. While everyone else is wearing the exact same clothes, Seagal says, "F continuity, I'm wearing whatever the f I want."
Yeah, that's what he does. He's saying like everybody else is wearing the same outfit because it's the same day and it's going on within the same sequence. This dude comes out with a completely different outfit.
I don't even know why they're still hostages at this point. But while everyone else is sneaking around, killing the captor.
Yeah, I know, Jeddah.
This guy gives 0 fucks and alerts the entire neighborhood. But the
I think
bad
so,
guys
AJ.
on the interior are so goddamn stupid that it doesn't even matter. This guy freaks out because the kid hugs his mom, which he perceives as a threat.
Let him go, or I'll kill him right here, right now.
This guy is just standing in the middle of a fucking hallway. Great job, dipshit. So Seagal frees them and finally confronts OPP. Seagal then does the best acting of his career.
You have a gun.
That's so inspirational that OPP decides to let him live. Except Seagal's a dickhead and blows him up. When Seagal was able to plant the explosive is never explained, but f it, nobody cares. We're just glad this fucking travesty is finally over.
Yo, now you guys know the game Blood Rain, right? I never my dad had the game Blood Rain, but I never played the game Blood Rain, but I know a lot about it because of back then it was a niche. It had a cult following, but it had people that really loved the game, stuff like that. But if you guys don't know, Blood Rain came out with a movie back in the early 2000s, which I've never seen because it just didn't look appealing. Well, Space Ice actually did a video on it, and I'm glad I didn't never go to the theaters to see this. Now, the girl who plays Blood Rain, she is the female Terminator from Terminator 3, which I thought she was an awesome Terminator. She was sexy and she looked intimidating because of how she used her femininity to be able to assassinate people and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. But she's actually the actress who played as Blood Rain. And oh my god, this movie's fucking stupid.
Blood Rain. Blood Rain is the 2005 Uwe Boll movie that took everything you thought you knew about
What's up, Grant?
vampires, didn't care, and gave you a giant piece of shit instead.
Oh my god, it looks horrible.
Has ever questioned that?
The movie doesn't even make it through the intro before it starts falling apart. First of all appearances by Billy Zane are special.
No, you rock.
Second, he plays an important character and is in multiple scenes.
I think Destiny is a more appropriate term.
This makes it seem like it's a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah, how you want to say special appearance of Billy Zane, but he's pretty much in the entire movie?
Are you Tony Stank? If you're still not convinced at how much of a shit show you're in for, this is literally the very first line.
Yeah. Blood Rain was pretty popular in advertisements and because I remember GameStop used to promote the hell out of that, and I used to remember the old GameSpot and IGN used to promote the game, and because the sex appeal that she had too, and I used to see a lot of advertisement for it. But my dad had bought the game on the original Xbox, and he loved the game, but I never played it. I loved her overall character design, but it was just something I wasn't really into those type of games. But the fact that they made a movie out of it and how horrible this looked, dog, it's just funny as hell.
What do you have for us?
His terrible dubbing is even more distracting than his god-awful wig. Anyways, they're vampire hunters who are so good at what they do that vampires just walk right up to them. He just stabbed a guy in the chest who was just standing there. Why does nobody give a shit?
I like you, Brimstone people. You never make a mess of the place.
What are you talking about? There's a rapidly decaying body right in the middle of your bar. Whatever. So they find out there's a carnival in town and rush off to go see it while treating us to some more highly emotional dialogue.
And how do you suggest we deal with this army, Sebastian?
At the carnival, we see a mind-blowing act where this lady cuts a candle with some swords. Simply incredible. This is Rain, the star of the movie and also half vampire. How can she possibly hope to top cutting a candle? Oh my god! Anyways, Rain gets sick of starring in Medieval Jackass, so she breaks out
It's that
and
Medieval
murders
Jackass.
the fuck out of everyone. By the time they get there, most of the carnival is dead, and again, nobody cares that there are rotting bodies everywhere. So they do the perfectly normal thing and start chopping the dead people's heads off. The movie doesn't explain any of this, or why when they find a survivor,
Vladimir, Sebastian.
they have to fucking kill her. What the fuck is wrong with everyone? At least we get our special appearance. Billy Zane is Michelle Rodriguez's father, who's also a vampire. He dictates a letter where he tries to get her to betray everyone.
Our beloved Brimstone Society can no longer defeat Kagan.
I really hope she takes his offer, because as the only one in the entire movie that seems to give a shit, I'm really rooting for him.
Oh, you're such a
Since Uwe Boll is so awful, the only way he could get across any semblance of a plot is to just have a magical fortune teller talk straight to the audience.
There's a reason you're here.
No, there isn't. Long story short, Rain's dad,
Has become the most powerful vampire.
and if she wants to kill him,
He killed my mother.
she first needs to go to a monastery and get a magical eye.
Be careful, my child. The eye is far more than a mere trinket.
Shut up, lady. Nobody gives a shit. Just know there's a prophecy that the movie makes up as it goes along, and let's keep this
Oh my god.
moving. So, whatever, she rides off, and the movie pads its runtime by needlessly showing her riding her horse for what feels like forever. Sometimes by herself, and sometimes with whoever the fuck this is.
Which makes no
We
sense
have to sit
whatsoever.
through 8 different views of her riding her horse before finally making it to the goddamn monastery. But that's not all. Ben Kingsley sends his army to follow her, and we get 8 different views of them riding their horses at the exact same time. We get the fucking point. So, after finally arriving, they give her food and a place to stay.
And then you may rest.
So she pays them back by trying to steal this guy's necklace and then bashing his fucking face in. His necklace turns out to be a key to the next room, and she does some Indiana
This look.
Jones
Oh my god. It looks so whack.
and finds the eye in a box. But then the room starts filling up with water, which is bad because in this movie, water kills vampires. So she looks at the eyeball, and now she's immune to water. Obviously,
However that
the
works.
monks don't seem to mind that she literally crushed one of their faces, and they explain to her her father has an army of
Humans who chose to work for him rather than die.
By sheer coincidence, they attack the monastery at that exact moment.
The monastery is being attacked!
What comes next is the most embarrassing battle scene of all time. This guy
Whack.
went into it without a weapon and just starts pushing people out of windows. What is this? Why is he swinging straight up? And why does he even bother blocking it? Then Madsen runs up some stairs and then just kind of bumps into a guy. Why would you choreograph something that stupid? And even though it's adorable, why is this guy's axe so tiny? How are we supposed to take any of this seriously? To be fair though, this guy sitting on his horse, twirling his sword, was pretty
Looking like an idiot.
desperate to stop this shit show, but also understanding it must end the dumbest way possible, he just walks up and knocks Rain out with a single punch. They decide that even though that was really fucking pathetic, they might need her for some reason and set out to rescue her. He brings Rain here, but luckily for them, this place has the worst guards in history. How do the guards not see them? Look just a little to your right, you goddamn idiots. They don't even react when the other guards are hit with arrows. This one guy
Makes no
has
sense.
to fire 3 different arrows at 3 different guards who are all within 10 feet of each other. Honestly, they could have just walked right around and behind them, and I doubt they would have noticed. Anyways, this is the home of Meatloaf, who's a powerful vampire.
Mightiest of all vampires.
What? No, not even close. He's a complete freak show, and the movie never explains why they even brought her here. He decides
she stays,
which this guy isn't happy about, but a surefire way to prevent that would have been to not have brought her here in the first fucking place. Anyways, he's about to do creepy things to her, but luckily she wakes up and bites him before passing back out. These two then kill all the vampires. And if
You ran
you
right
haven't
into that.
noticed by now, vampires are pretty weak. Like really fucking weak. I really don't understand how they're a threat to anything. So they rescue her, and even though she's unconscious, she somehow runs to the horses with them. And after a lot more goddamn horse riding, it's now nighttime, and she's still unconscious. She was punched a full 24 hours ago and just now wakes up. And of course, it's right when you're talking about her boobs.
And there's also that.
They play it off like they were talking about the cross, but come on.
Why are you taking me?
You should be grateful you're still alive.
What? She can be grateful and still wonder where the fuck she's going, you dickhead. So they throw her in a jail cell and don't trust her.
What would make us think that you won't attack?
Until she tells them how Kingsley raped and killed her mother. After that total downer, she trains with them, and we get a training montage of her going from being terrible.
Oh my god, that looks
still
so
being
cringy.
Terrible. Now that that's out of the way, this guy's been pretty quiet, but he wants everyone to know that he's a fucking idiot too. First, he forgets she's a vampire and invites her to dinner.
You're more than welcome to join us for dinner.
Then when she reminds him,
Don't think the food you have there will be of interest to me.
he cops a fucking attitude.
You act as though you're the only one who feels pain.
What? She doesn't eat food, dipshit. What does that have to do with feeling pain? He one-ups her in the being fucked up department, though.
My mother and father were both killed by Vladimir. They had turned, and I was to be slaughtered.
which she finds hot as hell. Which brings up a deep question. Can a movie that's been an incoherent mess the entire time go off the rails? The answer is, who fucking cares? Let's move on. Rodriguez is pissed that Rain's getting all the attention.
It seems you've become very popular, Rain.
So she does what any rational woman would do and betrays everybody and slaughters the entire village. Now we get another special appearance when this guy throws a severed head at Zane. We never learn who this is or why he does that, but he's actually more annoyed by the piece of paper.
Just stop throwing things at me.
Zane tries to get him to betray Kingsley,
Unseat Kagan and join me.
but he refuses,
Kagan's gratitude. Oh, Kagan's wrath.
and none of this ever comes up again. This entire scene is completely fucking pointless. Just like the eyeball, there's also a magical heart that Rain needs. When she goes to get it, it turns out the traitorous bitch is after it too.
It was them, or all of us.
Talk about awkward. They then have an epic battle, and Rain gets the heart. Now that she has the heart, she's ready to face her father.
I have brought the heart for my father.
This isn't suspicious at all. There's definitely no reason to even check if the heart's really in there. They lock her in a cell, but luckily, these guys are going to blow up the door and bust her out. Just kidding, they're incompetent and are immediately captured.
Take them to the dungeon.
So Kingsley has to do a ceremony in order to get the eye out of her.
Please continue.
And in a shocking twist, it turns out the box was empty. She didn't even put a fake heart in there. Her entire plan was that nobody would ever check the box, and it fucking worked. That's almost as dumb as this escape.
My companion is gone. I don't know what's become of him.
Which also somehow works. We then get a battle that is somehow worse than the one in the monastery. Kingsley shows off his high-level sword fighting skills as he just points his sword at Madsen and slowly walks forward. Not to be outdone, Madsen gives the performance of a lifetime where he doesn't even seem to realize that he's been stabbed in the heart. These two idiots kill each other. So now it's just Rain and Kingsley. Kingsley's about to win.
You know, seen the Blood
and
Rain
now
movie?
this guy's
Not me
eliminated.
either.
To be human and die.
He throws water at him and shoots some arrows, which Rain uses to finally kill him. So now the movie decides to give the audience one last middle finger and tells us if Rain bites someone, they don't die, they become a vampire.
Please, you don't have to leave me.
That would mean all the people she bit and killed, including Rodriguez, aren't actually dead. And what about the vampire she bit who then died? None of this makes any fucking sense. The movie then ends with Rain sitting on the throne. I have no idea what that means since everyone's dead, but who cares? This travesty is finally over. If you don't agree that Blood Rain is the worst movie ever made, then
I should skin you and hang you on display.
Yeah, man. Like, oh my god, I love that channel, man. I could be on that channel all day just listening to it, dog. It's just so stupid. Oh my god, my back. Yeah, so I'm pretty much going to I had just this morning I had bought Half-Life Alyx for my Oculus. It was on sale for like $23. Half-Life Alyx. And then last night I had bought, there was a sale on Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. There was a on Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and the sale was like 60% off. It came up to like $5.99. But then I actually bought that along with the DLC bundled together, so it was $30. Excuse me. So I got everything. So now I got that for the PC, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, because I was always hesitant in getting it because because I have it on console, but I want to start playing. Like I said, I want to get a majority of my fighting games on PC now, and the fact that I had to go back and I have to repurchase everything, I ain't feel like going through that, especially with Grand Blue Fantasy Versus with all that DLC. So caught a sale for $5.99 and then bought the DLC, so it came to $30 for everything. So that just worked out well for me. Yeah, so especially in 2023, there's gonna be a lot of fighting games I'm gonna be playing. I'm trying to find out who can make fight sticks for me. I need somebody. I want a custom made fight stick because I want to start using the hapsticks that I like, the hapsticks and the sticks that I got on my Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. Man, the hapstick, I love it better than the ball top Soundwood stick. So I do want a new arcade stick, custom made, that can be able to be played on consoles and PC. And I want to have hapsticks with the Soundwood buttons and stuff. That's what I really want for that's what I really want. So I can be able to play with Street Fighter 6 and the rest of the other fighting games. What's up, Phantom Gamer? Yeah, that's what I want to do. So I'm trying to find somebody. If you guys happen to find somebody or know like a place I can, like a site or anything I can go to get a custom arcade sticks built, I really appreciate that, because I really want to get that done. Because in 2023 I do want to play a lot of fighting games, but I do want a hapstick arcade stick built in the stick itself. And I'm thinking about I'm gonna have my I'm gonna have my artist. I'm gonna have my artist make me a Venus Orion Comics artwork that have my characters on it when I do get the stick made. So I'm gonna go to her first to make the design, like the template for the arcade stick for my artwork with the characters and stuff like that. I'm gonna have that done first before I actually get the stick made. So when I do get the custom stick, oh, what's up, Rude? What's going on? So when I do get the stick made, I'll have my characters and everything on the stick itself for the artwork. So that's something I do want to do. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. So yeah, I do plan on playing a lot of fighting games next year. I do have plans on doing that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I definitely want to get into some BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle as well. Street Fighter 6, some Tekken 7 until Tekken 8 releases. And I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna go to Guilty Gear Strive or not. Not really. Guilty Gear still haven't pulled me in, but I definitely want to play a lot of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And I do love Dragon Ball FighterZ. So hopefully I'll probably get into that too. Some more of that. Especially because we got the rollback coming soon and stuff. And Samurai Showdown. Yes, rollback is coming to that. Like, I love, like when Samurai Showdown first came out, man, like it was like the online was dead day one. Because the online netcode was just horrible. So hopefully, man, like once that come out as well, the rollback for Samurai Showdown, I definitely want to play some Samurai Showdown. I definitely want to get into that game. I really, really do. I also want to get into what's the other? When Project L released, I definitely want to play some of that. When that comes out, and it was another fighting game I had on my mind that I really, really want to play. It'll come back to me. Yeah, of course, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. I have to get back into that as well. Oh, cool. Get a next gen console too. All right, dope. On Slam Masters. Okay, Phantom. Yeah, man. Like next year I'm gonna be doing something different. How I approach my RPGs. starting 2023. Expect in order for you to participate in this, I'm going to make a video about it, but in order for you to participate in it, you have to go to my community tab and vote. I have a bunch of RPGs that I still haven't gotten around to that I'm gonna be knocking the hell out of these RPGs next year, starting in 2023. But I'm gonna need you guys' help. And what I mean by help is what I'm going to do is I'll post a link in the Discord. Those of you guys who communicate me in Discord, you're still going to have to go to my community tab on YouTube. I'm going to put a poll up of what games that you guys would like for me to play. Like, what RPG would you like for me to play? So whatever game win, that will be the game that I'll play. Then when I play it, I will do a first impressions, and after the first impressions, I'll be doing a video review or whatever other content I want to do regarding that game. So once I complete that, then next I'll do another poll. Once I beat one game, I'll do another poll. What's the next RPG that I should play? And then you guys will be able to keep voting and voting and voting from there. So right now, like the reason why you haven't seen any recent RPGs or anything is because, man, I got a complete burnout because I was just playing RPGs, just dropping them, just beating them left and right, doing reviews and stuff. And it got to the point where I'm like, man, I got so many more RPGs. I don't know which one to pick up next. So instead, and this is what I've been doing with my 3D hentai content, because in 2023, I already have so many videos, like content, like projects that I already have assembled already. That I had pre-animated and starting to get things together. But since there's so many of them, I don't know which one I really want to focus on to get done and have released, for that month. So I had people on my Patreon for my 3D hentai stuff to pick the project that they would like to see me work on and release. January's movie project is being released already. It's already done. It's going to drop January 1st on my clip stores and my Patreon. So I had people vote on what movie project that you would love for me to work on and release in February of 2023. And now I took that same idea, I'm going to apply it to my YouTube channel, where I have you guys vote on what JRPG, and I'll put the list down when I do the poll, and then you guys vote from there and decide. And I think I think it's much easier that way because it keeps me much more focused. Because like I said, I can't even decide for myself. It's too much. It's too many JRPGs that I have in my collection, and I can't. I end up not picking anything because I don't know where I really want to pick up and start. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that. Leave it to you guys. You guys do the voting, and then whatever that y'all would decide the fate of what game I'll be playing, what JRPG I'll be playing. So that's how I'm going to do it, and I think that will keep me more focused. And I say, okay, since they picked this, I have to play this, and that's how I'll do it. Oh, thanks, Jenna. Oh, you from Israel? I didn't know that. Awesome. So yeah, that's essentially what I really want to do, moving forward in 2023. So next year is going to be an interesting year as far as content. Also, starting this week, I'll be doing my Game of the Year video to end out the year. So there only may be 1 or 2 videos for this, for this year, for this week. There only may be 1 or 2 videos coming this week. So that's what we'll be doing. So I'll be doing a Game of the Year video to keep to end out the year, to pick which JRPG was my favorite JRPG of 2022, and get that done so you guys can just see that for yourself. And then when we hit the 2023, man, let's get it started, man. There's a lot of things I want to do. I also my Final Fantasy Tactics Ramza, the first chapter, Ramza, finally came in. I had pre-ordered this shit like last year. It was supposed to release last year, and it just now came in. This shit costs like $110. Like, Square Enix do have things that I want, the Square Enix store, but the Square Enix store is so damn expensive. Because I did a video. if you guys haven't checked it out, man, it's 2-year anniversary actually since I got this room. Built. The thing about the Square Enix store, what I don't like is how how they promote their figures and stuff like that. They make them look bigger than what they actually are. Because the Ramza figures looked a lot bigger than when you actually got the package. It's not as big, but they're super expensive. Well, the first things I've ever bought, and these were expensive. I had bought, and I did a video unboxing. I had bought the Final Fantasy VII polygon figures, which is pretty cool. And you know what the funny thing was? I always wanted this to be a toy. I always wanted to collect these. I said, man, it'd be awesome. When I used to play Final Fantasy VII, I used to love the polygon figures. And I said, man, I wish these were toys or whatever like that. I would definitely collect these. But they never had them. They always had like the actual real life looking type of Final Fantasy VII character figures and stuff. So they came in like a package. It came with Cloud. It came with Barrett. It came with Tifa. It came with Aerith. And Red 13. Polygon figure. Red 13. Reno from the Turks. And finally came with Sephiroth. They should have just packaged all of them because it didn't come with Sid, Vincent, or Kate Sith. Wasn't even packaged in it, and they don't even have polygons in them. So I'm thinking they might be doing like a second edition where it probably come with Sid, Yuffie, Kate Sith, probably Rude from the Turks, and stuff like that. But this shit was expensive. This shit cost like $80 for these. And even though I like them, it's just Square Enix store. It's just too damn expensive. Garage Wrestling games, an ECW game. I hope you. Why would I play Forspoken? I already gave people my opinion on Forspoken. That shit garbage. I didn't even bother to play the demo. I ain't playing that garbage. That game is garbage. I don't know why people thought that game was going to be good. And it's a lot of people that say they're not buying the game after playing the demo. Was one thing I respect Square for that they put demos out knowing that it could affect their sales. But that builds trust with companies when you do stuff like that, because then people are willing to give things a chance because you treat your consumers and your customers with respect. You know what I'm saying? And I said Forspoken's gonna be trash. It's going to be garbage. You know, it looked garbage. The graphics look horrible. And then when I found out that when I realized that it's from the studio that made Final Fantasy, when it found out it's from the team that made Final Fantasy 15, I said, now wonder. The saturation of the visuals look horrible. The voice acting is trash. The gameplay looked garbage. The frame rate looked horrible. The open world looked trash. So I was like, I'm not wasting my money on that. Oh yeah, they're stopping support for the Chocobo Grand Prix game that's out on consoles. They're shutting it down. That game looked like trash because the original looked like garbage. Yeah, so then I end up buying this. This shit cost me like $110. Like, and I love me some Final Fantasy Tactics, man. And I do want to get Delita. He's supposed to come out with a figure, and Agatha. Yeah, Argatha or Agatha. I think that's her name. How you pronounce her name? Say her name. And I want to get those, but man, I'm like, yo, if I gotta wait almost a whole fucking year to get them, then I'm not gonna waste that. I'm not gonna, because this is the crazy thing. I forgot that I bought the damn figure, and when I pre-ordered it, they don't take the money out your account, and I forgot all about that. I thought they already took the money out my account. So about a month ago, like earlier last month, I get an email. Oh yeah, we just withdrew the money out your account. Your figure will be shipped pretty soon. And then that's when, like, last week, I finally get another email say, yeah, we're about to ship it. And then I got another delay on it. And then it finally came in about, like, a couple days ago. And I'm like, I'm not ever doing this again. Because there's some Xenogear stuff that I want. I do want Ellie. I want Faye. I do want Weltall. I do want Xenogear figures from there. That's what's keeping me on the shelf right now. Because it's expensive. Like, the thing is, like, I can afford it. But I'm like, is it worth it, though? You know what I'm saying? Especially the long wait times. Well, they're saying, remember, there's a rumor about a remake or remaster for Final Fantasy Tactics that's supposed to come out. And this, remember, this leaked from the NVIDIA site. And the NVIDIA site haven't been wrong yet. The NVIDIA site that announced Kingdom Hearts 4, which we've seen a trailer to. It even said Tactics Ogre Reborn, which just came out last month. So everything that's been revealed has been revealed. So we are going to get Final Fantasy Tactics. It's just a matter of when we're going to get the announcement, when we're going to get the reveal. We still don't know if it's going to be a remaster or if it's going to be it's going to get like a remake treatment like Crisis Core. We don't know yet. That's what I'm waiting for. That's why I have not bought any type of port to Final Fantasy Tactics, because I won't sit there and wait. I'm going to wait and see if any announcements of anything Final Fantasy Tactics related. And that's what I want to do. But I love me some Final Fantasy Tactics. I definitely want to get back into that game again. Well, we do have the Pixel, the Pixel remaster that's coming out, the Pixel collection, the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters, and that's supposed to come with all the Final Fantasies from all the old ones, Final Fantasy 1 to 1 to 6, I think. The Pixel remaster, yeah, that's coming out the consoles next year. I think in January or something like that, or March or something like that. Well, Final Fantasy 9 was also on the rumor. The NVIDIA site had also said Final Fantasy 9 is being remade. I made a video about it. So it's only a matter of time when we're going to get a Final Fantasy 9 remake announcement and a Final Fantasy Tactics remaster announcement. Because not only that, what makes sense is because Final Fantasy 9 is actually coming out with an anime as well. I think it's coming to Netflix or something like that. So that would make sense that it's going to be announced alongside a Final Fantasy 9 remake. And Final Fantasy 9 is one of my favorite Final Fantasy besides Final Fantasy 7. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Final Fantasies. Yeah, the only Final Fantasy I haven't played was Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 5. I played all the main line. I played all the mainline Final Fantasies. Like the only ones I have not played. Now, have I beat all of them? No. I only beat 7. I only beat 9. What else? 7, 9, 10. I made it at the end of 4, but just never got around to beating it. I played half of 6. Part 1 and Part 2 is just too old. I just couldn't get into Part 1 and Part 2. In Final Fantasy 8, I made it to the last disc of Final Fantasy 8. But I just couldn't finish it. I just couldn't get it. Just couldn't get into it. Final Fantasy 9 and 7 and 9, as far as the mainline Final Fantasies, are like my favorite Final Fantasies. I love 7 and I love me some 9. So, but the question is, in the leak, they didn't say like Final Fantasy 9 Part 1. So it seems to me that this remake may actually be a full game. And if that is the case, then we got some fucking questions when it comes to Final Fantasy VII Remake. But we already discussed that with Final Fantasy VII Remake, because Final Fantasy VII Remake is actually an entirely different game, which enables them and allowed them to actually break it into multiple different parts and package them as totally separate games to itself. But Final Fantasy IX may seem like, if they remake 9 and it happens to be true that Final Fantasy IX is coming out with a remake, then that game may actually be 1-to-1, meaning that they're not changing shit to it. They may do some quality of life changes to it and may change some battle mechanics or whatever, but as far as story and other elements, they will probably most likely keep the same, which means they can actually have that as one game. That's the only thing I can think of. What's up, Akko? What's going on? So, that's the only thing I can think of. If 9 is not broken into parts, it's gonna be a full, complete package. Didn't care for the sequels to 4, and didn't care for the sequels to Final Fantasy 12 either. Final Fantasy 12, the storyline's not bad, but it just didn't hit with me. That's why I never finished 12. The only reason why I made it pretty far in 12 was because the gameplay itself, the Gambit system, the license board, and you could pretty much customize your party members any way you see fit. And I thought that was an interesting aspect of Final Fantasy 12. But other than that, the story just didn't pull me in like that. I really wasn't into it. And also with Final Fantasy 12, it's like they really couldn't pinpoint of who the main protagonist was. It's almost like it had no main protagonist. It's like the story focused on a bunch of different characters, but it didn't really have like a vocal main protagonist as well. Speaking of Half-Life, I played the remake called Black Mesa in Half-Life. Yeah, I have the original. I have the original Half-Life on PC. I still have the box, the old big ass box that came with Team Fortress and stuff like that. I have the original first Half-Life game. It's packed them away in my basement and stuff for my old ass computer. But yeah, I couldn't really get into Half-Life like that. My dad loved it because my dad he loved Half-Life. But Half-Life Alyx, I definitely wanted to actually play because, I love VR. And I wanted a VR game that actually pushed the envelope. And Half-Life Alyx actually a game that really pushed the VR technology and everything. So I'm definitely going to be going to the world of Half-Life probably later tonight. Not sure yet, but I'm definitely going to get into it probably later tonight or tomorrow or whatever. But there's a lot of JRPGs that has popped up on the Quest. So I'm on after I get off the stream later, I'm gonna go purchase some games on some JRPGs on my Oculus Quest too, and I'm gonna be doing some first impressions too. I'm gonna be doing some gameplay and let you guys know what RPGs are available, JRPGs that's available on the VR. So those of you guys who are looking to get into VR, I'm gonna be doing some VR type videos, and of course it's always going to be related to what my channel is about, JRPGs and fighting games. So I'm always going to find ways to tie in VR, when RPGs and JRPGs release on VR. So for those of you guys who are looking to get into some VR gameplay and try out the VR experience, I definitely want to have some of that content too for those of you guys who are shopping around for that, or for just newcomers who's looking to get into VR. So I do want some VR content, that's related to RPGs here on this channel as well. Imagine Final Fantasy 9 Remake also going multiverse with, they better not. This is the thing that makes me mad about these damn Final Fantasy 7 fanboys. This is the thing that pisses me off. We talked about this before. People is completely fine with Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core. And I was arguing with somebody on Twitter too. People keep saying that Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core is a remaster. That's not a remaster. That is literally what a remake is supposed to be. A remake literally just takes the same game and just rebuild that same game, keeping the same essence, keeping the same spirit of the game, but you're rebuilding it with new technology. That's all a remake is. You're taking the original source and you're rebuilding it with new technology. That's all you're doing. And you just add some new bells and whistles. You're not changing it. You're just adding new bells and whistles to fit modern standards for modern technology and modern gaming. Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion. And people say, the developer said that's a remaster. Fuck what they say. That's not what they can say whatever the hell they want to say. They like developers is the reason why we got this convoluted mess when it comes to what a remake and a remaster is. A remaster is literally taking the exact same game or same music or audio or movie, and all you're doing is just upping the resolutions to the actual original source. You're just cleaning it up. So you're just taking, like, say for instance, you take an old PS1 game and you want to remaster it. All you're doing is taking that same game, you're taking the same source code, you're taking the same visuals, You're not adding new graphics to it. You're just taking it. You're upping the resolution. That's all you're doing to it. You're cleaning it up. You may clean the sound. You may do everything, but it's still the exact game. Like Chrono Cross is a perfect example. That is a remaster. That's not a remake. That's a literal remaster. They give you a bunch of different options. So what you want to use the original audio. You want to use the original resolution, or you want to use the HD resolution. That's all it is. That's a remaster. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, that's a remake. It's the same exact game. They just rebuild it with new technology. It's the same. That's not a remaster. That is literally a remake. Yeah. Yeah. You're just building it. Is it also known as HD? Yeah. They're just taking the same game and they're just rebuilding it with new technology. And developers have conflated what a remake and a remaster is. Now you came in, because I was arguing with this dude over Twitter about this, because I showed him. So I said, so you're basically telling me that Trials of Mana collection that's on the Switch and Trials of Mana the remake, you're both saying that these are both remasters. That's what you're telling me. That this collection, which keeps the same resolution but have different bells and whistles and different options and audio and stuff like that, you're telling me that this is the same as the 3D version of Trials of Mana. So you're both telling me they're both remasters. That makes no fucking sense. That's what you're basically telling me. No, one is a remaster. The collection is a remaster of Trials of Mana, and then the new one that came out that's in 3D is an actual remake. It's the same game. It's just built from the ground up, and they didn't add no new story elements to it. All they did was just change the graphics, and they added more quality of life changes to meet today's gaming standards. That's all they did. So you're going to tell me that they're both remasters? Yeah. Yeah, the Network collection's coming out. Spire was a remaster. Like, that's why I don't understand. Like they're conflating what a remaster and they're conflating what a remake is. So you got people who actually Final Fantasy VII ruined what a remake is. Because this is the thing that really irritated me. I said, wait a minute. So you guys were totally fine with Final Fantasy Crisis Core Remake being a complete 1-to-1 with no changes to it, but they did fix the combat to fit today's modern standards and some of the gameplay mechanics, but it's still the same fucking game. And everybody's completely fine with that. But when it came to Final Fantasy VII Remake, who wants to play the same story over and over again? Like, we're getting tired of that. I'm completely okay with them changing the story and everything. That's the most hypocritical bullshit I've ever heard. They're completely fine with them changing Final Fantasy VII with the remake, but completely okay and fine with 1-to-1 game, story and everything with Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion. That's totally fine. But you're saying that you wouldn't been fine or okay with Final Fantasy VII Remake being the same game. Get the fuck out of here with that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, and remasters do some balance fixes too. Yeah, you're right. You gain anything, but this was it. Errors. Yeah, I got you, PJ. What's up, Zero? Yeah, it's same thing with the Death Stranding and stuff, Zero. Like, and that's what I'm talking about. The developers had construed what a remake and what a remaster is. Then you got these dumb gamers coming in here, or these new generation of gamers coming in here trying to tell you what a remake and what a remaster is, because they listening to what Nomura and them is telling them. Tetsuya Nomura is telling them what a remake and remaster is, when these motherfuckers construed it to begin with. Yeah. So what I do, I don't know. It all depends. If it catches my attention. Corrupt is an indie fighting game in development. I'll look into it. It all depends if it catches my eye. But yeah, man. Like, paraphrase said nothing was dropped. So why it's called a director's cut. He said he paraphrased and said nothing was dropped, so why is he called a director's cut? Yeah, it's all about the executives and how they're selling it and trying to sell shit to you. That's what it's all about. Because back in the day, people would have accepted that Final Fantasy VII Remake is a reimagine and not really a remake. People would have accepted that Crisis Core is a remake and not a remaster back in the day, decades ago. But now you got all these developers coming in there telling you, misconstruing what these things are, and then people's believing it and trying to tell you what they actually are. And check this out. And then there was some beef, and I hate console war beef because Sony gets on my nerves. I don't care if you're a Sony fanboy, Nintendo fanboy, or Microsoft fanboy. This fanboy stuff is stupid and is immature. But back to what I was saying. Over the past couple of days, Sony fanboys and Xbox fanboys been fighting about Final Fantasy Crisis Core because the UK had put their sales numbers up for Crisis Core, and it seemed like 6% of the sales only came from Microsoft. Microsoft, when it came to Crisis Core, only 6% of the base had bought it, but 6% of the sales mainly came from Game Pass. So then you, of course, get the Sony fanboys saying that Xbox fanboys don't really play games because they always get on Game Pass. But what kind of logic is that? If they're playing on Game Pass, they're obviously playing the fucking game. That makes no fucking sense. Just because you didn't buy it physical doesn't mean you don't play the fucking game. But I digress. But anyway, so they were saying that the reason is that this is why I don't get JRPGs, because you don't go out and support and buy any of the JRPGs that you cry about. So my argument was, and many other people's argument was saying, mainly because I said, wait a minute. I can also see why people didn't buy Crisis Core on Xbox. And this is only Game Pass. We didn't get the physical sales. We only got the Game Pass sales. So I was like, you got to think about this for a second. And I seen this on my stream when they announced Crisis Core Reunion, and I seen this on Twitter from Xbox fans. I literally seen people say, so, okay, Crisis Core remake is coming here, or remaster, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're saying, okay, all right, so does that mean we're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake? And Square still haven't released Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I don't think they're ever going to release the remake on the Xbox platform. So you have Xbox fans saying, oh, cool, all right, it's coming to Xbox, so does that mean we're also going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake? So then you got to think about this. Why would anybody buy fucking Crisis Core and don't even know that if they're ever going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake? No one is going to buy and invest in the game where they're not going to even get the main game, the main title, which is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then here's this dumb motherfucker, this disingenuous motherfucker come on it and reply to me. And he says, what are you talking about? Like, they can get the main game if they want. He going to post a screenshot of the original OG Final Fantasy VII, which you can buy or even get on Game Pass. Now, I said to him, I said, dude, let's not play this game. Let's not play this. Like you're really being disingenuous about this in this whole situation. Yes, you can get the OG Final Fantasy VII on the Xbox. But gamers, if they really wanted to play, if Final Fantasy VII OG was really something they really wanted to play, then you would see spikes in sales, or you would have seen spikes in Game Pass plays of Final Fantasy VII OG. But let's not pretend that the creators of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which they did admit, let's not pretend that they didn't make Reunion just so you can play Reunion. No, they bought that so they can complement Final Fantasy VII fucking Remake. They didn't buy that. They didn't make that game so you said, you know what, let's go back and play the OG. I said, first of all, new gamers know nothing about the OG and don't care about the OG because of how old it is. Most gamers only cares about what's recent and what's trending. They didn't make Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion so you can go back and play the OG Final Fantasy VII. No, they remade Reunion because they want you to go and play Final Fantasy VII Remake and the upcoming Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And then Tetsuya Nomura and themselves said that Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core is allow gamers to get an understanding of who Zack is, since Zack plays a major role in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They didn't make Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion so you can go back and play the OG Final Fantasy VII. That makes no sense. Then they would have did that a long time ago. No, They want everything interconnected to make people go buy the most recent product. So dude was being a disingenuous fuck. And then he said, well, you're right about that, but still, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core still relies on the original story. But you dumb fuck, no one is going to play the original OG Final Fantasy. Unless you're really hardcore into Final Fantasy and you really want to get to know Final Fantasy VII, then yes, you're going to go back and play the OG. But Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion you're not going to see an uptick in downloads and purchases to the OG Final Fantasy VII because of Crisis Core Reunion. You're not going to see that. But what you're going to see is you're going to see more gamers going out there to want to buy and pre-order Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or go and buy, and you will see an uptick in Final Fantasy VII Remake. You're going to see that. That's why they put it out there. These disingenuous motherfuckers, man. I swear people was like, it's just fucking dumb at times, man. He said it's like buying the Switch version of Persona 5 Strikers, the sequel to the story-wise in the main game, before Persona 5 Royale ever hit on the Nintendo store shelves. Oh, you want Faithful Story to the OG? I am happy to announce it's coming exclusive to mobile phones. Yeah, they put Ever Crisis on the damn phone. But check this out. It's a gacha game. It's a gacha. They trying to monetize the OG. It's a gacha game. Like, that's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah, exactly. I've just completed Final Fantasy VII Remake. Never played the original, but I'd rather they stick to the classic story than updated it. Yeah. Most people who never played Final Fantasy VII is not going to go play the OG. Unless, like I said, if you happen to like Final Fantasy VII Remake that much and you want to know its roots, then you're going to go down that rabbit hole and play the original. But most people who bought Final Fantasy VII Remake is not going back to play the OG. They didn't release Crisis Core so you can go back and play the OG. They released Crisis Core Reunion so you can play fucking Final Fantasy VII Remake and fucking Rebirth. That's why they did it. And this dumb idiot gonna try to say, well, you know, they can go back and play. Then shut the hell up. Or more toxic than Overwatch. Yeah, the Final Fantasy fan base is toxic as fuck. Overwatch is toxic as fuck, and Sonic fan base is toxic as hell. Imagine putting Chrono Trigger on mobile phones, but it's a gacha game just to make more money off of it. Yeah. So not only that you gave us a true remake that we actually wanted, you make it into a gacha game, and then you put it on mobile phones. Like Square, this is the thing. I have like a love-hate relationship with Square, because Square is not the same company that we know. It's a husk of what it used to be. And most of the original talent had left and either started their own studios or went on to other studios, or just retired from game development altogether. So what we have here is now a corporate company that's just focused on corporate greed at this point. They don't care about the passion of the developers or care about the gamers and their fan base itself. They just, profit is just the main thing. It's not even about the gamers no more. It's not about just creating good titles. It's just about how we can profit. And that's the thing that really pissed me off. And the thing is like I have a love-hate relationship with Square, is because sometimes they do things that's right and it's like pretty cool, pretty awesome with some of their releases that they have, and then they just turn around and just do dumb shit at the same like in the same breath that makes you just like dislike them, or like, why did y'all even bother to do that and stuff. And that's the thing that that's the relationship that I have with Square Enix, and it's really sad, man. Square Enix used to be that company, man. When you look at that Square Enix logo, you knew you was in for something like really, really, really awesome, and for an amazing experience, especially when it comes to JRPGs. It was like a golden seal of approval. But now, like, it's like a hit or miss with Square Enix nowadays, man. They're not the same anymore. And then with this Square Enix, and they admitted themselves that they had trouble finding the identity with Final Fantasy, is because they said they used to be trend setters. Now they're trend chasers. Oh, thanks for the follow, Macross. Yeah, Marcos. Yeah, they're trend chasers. And what they do is, whatever's the hottest trend or a popular trend in gaming, they add that to their Final Fantasy game. That's why Final Fantasy has no identity now, because now each title feels like a game that you will find in a Western game as far as gameplay and style and stuff like that. And like, you don't feel that Japanese feel or aesthetics to it. It's more trying to copy the Western audience. And they had lost their way. They chasing trends, and they admitted it. They literally, I did a video about it. They admitted it. They chasing trends instead of them setting trends. Like Square was set trends for JRPGs and just gaming in general, where game companies and games will follow after them and then improve on it. But these guys are doing the complete opposite. And that's why Final Fantasy doesn't feel like Final Fantasy. It's trying to copy everything that's out currently. They already said Dragon Quest 12 is going to be different. They already taking a different approach to it. I think in my opinion, it would be smart if they do. In my opinion, I think it's going to be an action RPG, Dragon Quest 12, unless they do a hybrid, meaning that you can actually switch between turn-based and action RPG. Because the new Cold the Cold Steel series, the most recent one that's out, it literally switches between a turn-based and action RPG, and it works seamlessly. You can do it anytime you want. Now, if Dragon Quest 12 take that approach, I have no gripes, because then anybody of any gameplay style can go with what they want to go with. And they could have did that with Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. They could have did that, but they chose not to. So we will have to wait and see with 12, but they already said it's going to be different. So wasn't it said that Final Fantasy 1 was supposed to be? Yeah, well, Final Fantasy, the first Final Fantasy game was supposed, that's why it was called Final Fantasy. It's going to be their last game before Squaresoft, when they was Squaresoft at the time, not Square Enix. This is supposed to be their last game before they shut down the company, because they was going to go bankrupt. They was going to shut down. But Final Fantasy had just revolutionized the game, and that ended up saving the company. And then Square was just recently in the same bond again. Final Fantasy 14 is responsible for saving the company once again. Like these guys are always on the verge of losing everything, and Final Fantasy keeps saving them. Final Fantasy 14 saved them. Final Fantasy 14 saved them. Final Fantasy did it again. This is why Yoshi P has pretty much been promoted in a sense. Got his own studio and shit now, and working on his own mainline game, which is Final Fantasy 16. Because he saved Square. He saved Square. Final Fantasy did it once again for Square. But remember when Square actually released so many different RPGs? And that's why I missed gaming a long time ago. Gaming of the past was so much more fun because studios were able to take a chance. Now we've gotten to the point in gaming, in the industry all in itself, we gotten to a point to where these games are much more expensive to make. It costs much more. It's much more manpower, and they don't want to take that chance to work on new IP, because you have to do a lot of research and development, and new IPs are very costly, especially because it's an untested IP. So a lot of them don't want to take these studios don't want to take their chance and try something different, because then they lost millions and stuff. So what they do is they stick to something that works, and then they bank on the name of that franchise, which is games like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. They bank on Final Fantasy and everything of a sort. And remember, Square Enix used to make a bunch of different titles. There's some titles that I never knew exist that only stayed in Japan that they had made. I remember back in the day, man, you wasn't only just able to get Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger. You was able to get Threads of Fate, Secret of Evermore, the Mana series. What was the other one? Then you had Alive, which we finally got. Bahamut Lagoon. You had so many different Square titles that you can possibly get. The Bouncer. You had so many different titles that they were experimenting with. The Xenogears game and stuff like that. Like, there were so many different games. Parasite Eve, that you was able to try. They had a whole catalog of a variety of different games. And then of course you have the Nair series, then you have the Dragon Guards. You have so many different franchises you can choose from. And then they'll just boil down to two main franchises, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. Because once they did the merger, remember you had Star Ocean and stuff like that. It just boiled down to two main franchises. And now, because Nier Automata was a success, now they're trying to make Nier has become like one of their flagship franchises that they're trying to push like a Final Fantasy. So you expect to see more Nier. And then now, Square had done well with the Mana series with the Trials of Mana remake. Now all of a sudden we do have a new Mana game coming pretty soon. So hopefully people go out and support that Mana game so we can start seeing more Mana games. And then the triumphant return of the Star Ocean series with Star Ocean Divine Force, which I love the shit out of. That game that's done really, really well, and I would love to see more Star Ocean in the near future. So yeah, man, Square used to produce a lot of franchises, man. Oh yeah, I have Bushido Blade as well. Yeah, Bushido Blade, I forgot about that. You have the Saga Frontier series. Yeah, you have all that. And everything went corporate, man. Everything went corporate. Everything is about microtransactions and how much everything's a live service game. And I would say this: the studio that made Outriders, and Square Enix published them. That was a game that they actually made a full, complete package. It wasn't a live service game, and even though it didn't do too well. But at least they made the attempt. And I believe if for them to create new IPs, I just think make them AA titles. Everything doesn't have to be AAA. And this is another thing that became so shallow about today's gaming, especially with this generation of gamers. Everything's about the AAA experience. Everything don't have to be AAA. I love AA games. Most of the time, AA games are better than AAA games in my personal experience. I enjoy a couple of AA games, especially when it came to Alive remake. Love the hell out of that. Dealfield Chronicles. A lot of these Star Ocean. A lot of these games are AA. They're not even AAA games. You have a lot of AA games that are out that's actually really, really good and overlooked because everybody's looking for AAA because AAA is always that movie experience, that open world experience, high fidelity graphics experience, and all this other type of stuff, and it becomes so shallow. So if it's not a AAA game, people overlook it, and then now all of a sudden you got studios that's all they focus on is just AAA experiences to the point where a lot of AAA experiences all look the same and all feel the same. They all look and feel the same. And then they have a bunch of fucking DLC monetizations and all these other things added to it. So that's the thing. Like we need more AA games. So for me, in my opinion, Square Enix and many other studios just need to start pumping out AA games because then you can make that you can experiment and try new IPs with AA's because it's a smaller budget. So you can get it's a smaller budget, but you can yield high returns in it. And if it does well, and then you increase the budget by a bit with the next title, and then once it gains a big audience and stuff, and then you can give it a AAA treatment. Yeah. Who plays a Chinese Splatoon bootleg? It's a bit dark. Yeah. But Nier has became popular. Nier hell, we're getting an anime now. Nier Automata did it, and more and more people is waking up to it. And what helped even more, Nintendo Switch. Look, people may rag on Nintendo, but Nintendo's influence, especially with the Switch, is no joke. Because if you put a game on Nintendo Switch, and even though it's a shitty version of it, people are going to buy it because there's more people with Nintendo Switches and most people own more than one Switch on top of that. And the Nier series just received another boost in sales because of the Switch version that come with more content. And dude, it was trending so much when it released on the Switch. Everybody's talking about it. People who say you never heard of Nier saying my friend suggested it to me and my God, it's a good game. So it's going to become a mainstream type of franchise. It really is for Square, and Square is going to milk the hell out of it. Games like or fun, the Yi series. Yeah, the Yi series is AA. They're AA experiences. They're not AAA at all. The Cold Steel series, they're not even AAA, but they're really good. They goddamn good games. But people often overlook them because this generation and these gamers and this mindset of the AAA experience. And then the other thing that cracks me up, especially with this console war thing, is the whole exclusive bullshit. Everybody's arguing like Microsoft sucks because they have no exclusives. Sony is the better console because of the exclusives. And it seems like that there's only people who only play exclusives. They don't play. There's people who don't even play third-party games. They just stick to the exclusive. and stuff like that. And I said, yo, there's more to a console than just its exclusives. What about just the gaming experience in general? What about the ecosystem, its online play? What about all that type of stuff? Does that count for something for a console? You know, and like I said, I have no fight. I have no like no fight in this war because I own all the consoles, and I have a gaming PC. So you know, so it's not like I'm a fanboy of anything. I'm just saying, why is everybody arguing over dumb shit like this? I said, it's all you're worried about is exclusives. What about the third party titles you can play on your platform? What about the AA games that you can play on your platform of choice? Are you getting enjoyment out of it? Because, and to me, in my opinion, like I said about AAA, people brag about these AAAs, but these AAAs are not for everybody. People pretend that when a AAA come out, it's for everybody. Spider-Man for the PlayStation 5, I never bought it. I don't care for it. I know it's a good game, but I just don't care for it. God of War, people brag about God of War. I don't care for God of War. I didn't buy that. People bragged about Halo Infinite. I don't have Halo Infinite. I don't care. Ratchet and Clank for PS5. I didn't even buy that. Horizon, was it the West, the new one that's out, the sequel? I got bored of the first one on the PS4, so I damn well didn't bother to pick up the next one. Didn't care for those titles, and they brag about these exclusives, but they don't appeal to me. So it's like that's why it doesn't matter. And it's crazy. Like, most of my games does come from the Nintendo Switch. And this is another thing about my argument with Nintendo right now is, like, I want to play multi-plat games on my Nintendo Switch, but they're the inferior versions. It's time for new hardware. I want to be able to go to the store and say, you know what? I want to grab this for my Nintendo console instead of the Xbox, instead of the PS5. See, I had nothing but exclusives on Nintendo Switch because the multi-plat games is fucking ass. It's fucking ass. Like, I would never play it but it's portable though. I don't play portable like that. My Switch stay docked. I don't even take my Switch out the house. It's only once I took it out the house. I went to the laundromat to wash clothes. Me and my daughter's clothes. And I went to the laundromat, and that was during a time where I just got back into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's what made me start getting back into gaming. So I went out to the laundromat and I played in the laundromat while my clothes were being washed and dried. And I sat there and played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 the whole time. That's the only time I took my Switch out the house. Other than that, it's always docked. So, of course, I'm going to have nothing but exclusives on a Nintendo Switch because the multi-plats is the inferior version. Why would I get an inferior version? And that's why I wish Nintendo, I know they will eventually, but they're going to have to do something with the hardware. Because I want to be able to go to the store and say, you know what? I'm going to get the Nintendo version of this. I want to play this. I want to play this. I want to play this in 60 frames. Or 4K and in 60 frames. I want to be able to do that. But I can't. So I'm going to have to get the PS5 or the Xbox Series X version of it. And surprisingly, this year, I've been playing my Xbox more than my PS5 this year. Because I bought nothing but JRPGs. DioField Chronicles. I end up playing my Scarlet Nexus. Remember, I have Like a Dragon. And what was the other? I said DioField. And Star Ocean. Star Ocean Divine Force. Those games alone made me clock in more hours than I ever put on my PS5 this year. He said, imagine being an American having your regular Switch and switch OLED out of that. And that's what pisses me off. It's about time. And I understand. I know Nintendo's mindset. I understand. Business-wise, it doesn't make any sense at this point when you're still dominating in the market right now as far as the console is concerned and stuff like that. You're still making a killing with titles. I understand that. But my God, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I guarantee you that would have been an even better experience if they had better hardware. That the world of Aionios would be even bigger, twice as big, and more things they can do with the game if they had better hardware. And you can tell the hardware is getting more and more dated. The games they're not looking as good. And it's not about graphics, because like I said, I pick gameplay over graphics anytime. But let's be real here. When you got textures popping in every 5 minutes, or the buildings look like ass and stuff like that, it does get to you. And you start thinking about the potential that the title could have had if it had better hardware, you know, for the developers to work with, you know. Oh yeah, the Nintendo game, cloud games does, yeah, they does suck ass. Yeah, Spider-Man is now on the PS, is on the PC. Yeah. Yeah. So and that's the thing. Like this console war stuff is stupid. So they arguing about exclusives, and I'm like, and then because when the guy was arguing me, he said, "But we got God of War, we got this." I said, all those exclusives you name, I don't give a shit about. Don't care. Don't give a shit about them. I bought none of them. I don't care about those games. Most of my PS5 and most of my Xbox Series X games are all multi-plat games. They're all third-party games. I only use cloud just for game saves and mods. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me. That's why I tell gamers, man, play the console of your choice and play what you like. I think what's more important with developers and with the consoles and these console developers need to focus on is doing cross-play. Cross-play I think is important. I think cross-play and like I have no problem with exclusives. Let me put it this way. I'm jumping all over the place. I have a problem with third-party games being exclusive. Now, if you're a studio and you own these studios and stuff, that's different. But I don't like when developers spend money on third parties to keep games exclusive. I think everybody should be able to have access to those games, unless, like I said, it's a first-party game. A first-party studio deserves to be exclusive. That's their games. It's from their studios. So I understand that. But third-party titles should never be exclusive. It should be on everybody should be able to get their hands on it, and we should have some cross-play when it comes to multiplayer games, where I should be able to have my console of choice and still be able to play amongst my friends who have different consoles or on the PC. We need a more interconnected ecosystem when it comes to multiplayer games. That's what we need. And like I said, I should be able to play any game that I want on my console that's third party. It should never be locked behind a console as an exclusive. I would love Final Fantasy VII fans to be able to play Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Xbox. I would love for them to be able to play that. Even on Nintendo Switch. I would love for them to play it on Nintendo Switch. Everybody should have access to these games. These third-party games. Everybody should have access to it. Everybody. Everybody should be able to experience it. I have friends who would love to try Final Fantasy VII Remake, but only have Xbox, but can't play it. I would love for them to be able to play it. That's more discussion and conversation we can have and talk about things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That unity as a gamer. You know what I'm saying? That I think that's the best part about being a gamer. We're able to share that experiences with other people. But you can't do that with third-party games because it's locked behind it as an exclusive. And like I said, I'm all for exclusive as long as if it's owned by the studio and it's made by the studio of the console owner. That's different. But third-party to me, I just find it dumb. Unless the console just can't run the game. That's different. Kingdom Hearts should be on every console. It should be. Street Fighter, which they do in this generation with Street Fighter 6, but Street Fighter should be on every console. Tekken should be on every console. Devil May Cry should be on every console. Monster Hunter, every console. Yeah, that makes sense too, Jay. Yeah. Yeah, Crash Score is also on Switch. Yeah, because for example, had crossland to begin with. For example, Kayabunga Collection had cross-platform to begin with. Yeah, everything should be cross-play and cross-platform when it comes to third-party games. That's how I see it. Like for instance, I was going to get the Gotham Knights. I was gonna get it for Xbox. I want to play it on Xbox. I don't want to play it on PlayStation 5. I didn't even want to play it on PC. I wanted to play it on my Xbox. But all my brothers, like I said, all of us got multiple consoles. But all my brothers, like Heel Lancer and DX Strike, all their friends, they all got PS5s. So they bought the game so they can be able to play with all their homies. So they bought the PS5 version. But I wanted to play it on Xbox. And if it was cross-platform, if it was cross-play, if it was cross-play, I'll be able to play. I would have been able to play with all of them. So I didn't even bother to buy it because I didn't want to play it on PlayStation 5 or the PC. And then I should have. Then that's when my dad bought it for the PS5, and then he had nobody to play with because my dad always works, so he's never really home. And plus, my brother's always playing with their homies, so he's playing Gotham Knights by himself. Because my dad don't really do online gameplay with strangers and stuff. He's an older guy, and he's more like a loner. And if he does play, he plays with us. But then I thought about it. I said, damn, I should have told my dad to get it for the Xbox. Then me and my dad could have played. Because my dad played the games casually. He don't sit down for hours anymore to play games. He got so much. He's an older dude. He's doing other things. So when he comes home, he plays for an hour or so, and then move on. So and that's how I treat most of my games. I don't sit down for hours. I've been doing it since I had a lot of off time because of holidays and stuff. But I could have did that with Gotham Knights with my father. Me and him could have, because we would have played that game on and off. I should have got it. And my dad said, "You know what, son? You're right. I should have got it on Xbox, because then me and him could have played the game together." Yeah. So that's important. Crossplay is important. And I hope this generation they start putting more emphasis on crossplay. It's to me, I think it's integral to the future of gaming. Everybody should be able to have access to play with each other. That's how I see it. Yeah. So it's about time for Nintendo to put out the new hardware. And I know they will. It's just a matter of when they're going to do it. They're going to do it. But I don't want Nintendo, and this is the problem. And Nintendo, I understand, well, GameCube was a high-power console, and look what happened. PS2, which is a weaker console, dominated that generation. No, it's because of what Nintendo's stupid decisions would cause the GameCube to not really succeed as much in the U.S. Compared to its Japanese counterpart. But anyway, I'm tired of Nintendo being behind the competition as far as performance. Every console generation, they're always behind. They're always behind. And now, like I said, the Nintendo Switch, they got lucky with the Nintendo Switch. It worked for them. But it does, if they don't do anything as far as improving and making it at least close enough to the Xbox Series X and the PS5 in terms of power, they're going to be behind once again. Because the thing is, third party, they was getting a lot of third party support for the Switch at the beginning. They was getting a whole lot of it. Now you notice you're not really seeing a lot of third party now, is because eventually now developers are really starting to focus on PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and the Switch won't be able to get those games. And then we're back at square one again, where it's just nothing but Nintendo exclusives and lack of third party because of the hardware can't keep up. Nintendo has to stop doing that shit. That's why this next console, and I'm about to say something controversial. I'm about to say something fucking controversial, but I'm going to say it. I wouldn't even mind that the next Nintendo console is not even a hybrid portable console. I wouldn't even mind that Nintendo go back to just having the next console be a high-powered just console. And then the Nintendo Switch will act as their handheld. You get what I'm saying? Since we don't have a DS no more, we don't have a Game Boy no more, the Switch itself will be the handheld that you can just plug to your TV, and the next console, Nintendo console, will just be a traditional console. I don't think they would do that, but I wouldn't mind if they did that. But we need some powerful hardware. I'm tired of them lagging behind in performance. I'm really tired of it. Like, I want to be able to get a Switch, a Nintendo version of a third-party game that runs really, really good and looks really, really good. That's on par or close enough to the PS5 and the Series X. Yeah. I said this when Switch first came out. I said, you know what? I said, you know what's funny? If the Switch happens to be for them to push out the DS and for them to push out the Game Boy, and then moving forward, Switch will be the next handheld, and then their next console will be a traditional console. But I don't think they're going to do that. But if they did, I'll be all for that. That the next console will be a traditional console, traditional controller, powerful as hell, and the Switch will just be their handheld. And then when they come out with a Switch 2, it's not a major upgrade, but it's a good enough upgrade to where you're able to still get a third-party experience, a console experience on the go, and able to dock it to your television. That's still your handheld. It's just now, it's just more emphasis on handheld, and the console is going to give you that high-powered console experience. Yeah, Microsoft never did it because with Microsoft, if Microsoft does a handheld, it's not going to be a handheld in the traditional sense. Their handheld is going to be just their Game Pass on mobile devices. That's going to be their handheld. Your mobile device is going to have Game Pass, or is there's going to be mobile devices with Game Pass already built in it, which is smart. Why spend money on the hardware when you can just have your service on mobile devices? That's what I believe. That's what Microsoft, and because I'm still surprised Microsoft didn't do VR yet. Like, I'm waiting for Microsoft to drop a VR headset for Xbox. I want to play Halo in VR, Halo VR, or Fable VR, or something like that. Gears of War VR. Man, I'll be down with that. But I believe Microsoft is doing something different because they see the future. This is the thing. I love Sony and I love Microsoft because they all have different ways of how they approach gaming in the industry. Yeah, Sony and Microsoft is shitty in other aspects, but they all have their own approach. Microsoft is seeing the end game. They're playing the long game by having Game Pass on every platform. Even the new Samsung TVs or whatever is having Game Pass built in your smart TV. They want you to have Game Pass on everything. They trying to buy up things so they can have it part of the Game Pass subscription. That's like Netflix of gaming. That's what they're trying to do. Because they know that the future of gaming, we're not going to have consoles in the future. I'm saying right now, the future of gaming is going to be a dongle that you put into your TV or put into your PC or something like that, and you have a subscription service of some sort. And the only thing you have is a controller from that company that you can sync to your TV or your PC or something like that. And that's it. That's the future of gaming. I'm telling you, that's where we're heading. How soon are we heading there? That's, remain to be seen. But we're heading in that direction as far as gaming is concerned. And Microsoft is trying to cash in on it right now. They're taking losses, they're taking the losses right now because they're looking at the bigger picture. Sony fanboys is always coming at Microsoft, but Microsoft is looking at the long game, while the fanboys look at the short game. The Sony fanboys of what's going on right now. But that's what Microsoft is trying to set themselves up for, which is why to them it wouldn't make sense to put out a handheld where you can just put your service on any mobile device. That is the Microsoft handheld right there. That is the handheld. That's their handheld right there. That I can pick my cell phone up, get a controller for my mobile device, and just load up Game Pass. Or get my iPad or something like that, or get my laptop, or get my desktop, my smart TV, or whatever. That's what they want to do. Hell, if they could get Game Pass on PS5, they would do it. If they could get Game Pass on the Nintendo Switch, they would do it. And the thing is, people is clowning cloud gaming right now because the technology is in its infancy. Cloud gaming is going to get better. It's just not there yet. But a company has to take a risk and get there. Somebody has to take a risk and do it. Or else it'll never get done. It will never happen. So we only at the infancy stage of cloud gaming, but cloud gaming is going to be a thing where everybody's going to have internet access, where everybody's internet is going to be good regardless of where you at in the world, and it's going to be cheap for everybody to have access to it. 1 second. What's that smell? Oh, I need to smell something. Yeah, so that's what they're trying. That's what they want to do. That's what they're trying to do. So, but you have to start from somewhere. So, of course, cloud gaming is not at its best, but it's going to get there. Microsoft is trying to cash their chips in now. They're trying to put down their pre-orders right now. They're trying to capture that market right now so they can be the master of that market by the time the world finally shifts over to it. More and more people are going digital with their games. Let me tell you how crazy it is. My brother's friends, who my brothers are like 4 and 5 years older than them, or whatever. Their friends, these guys, they're a new generation of gamers. They have the digital version of the PS5. They're all digital. They don't have nothing physical. All their games is all digital. Most of the young gamers that I do know, they're all digital. They don't do nothing physical. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. The last country that will ever experience that shit is the United States of America. True. That's exactly why Parsec is fucking thing right now. Exactly. So, also, Microsoft has better backwards capabilities. Yeah, they do. So, if they keep it up, they'll end up with a large library across generations. Yeah. They have a bit, their backwards capability. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's clowning Microsoft, but they have some good shit. They do have some good shit. Like, I do want to play my Xbox more. I really do want to play it more, and I have been this year. I've been doing it more than my PS5 this time around. Because last year I played my PS5 way more. Last year my Xbox was only watching Netflix with my daughter. Last year I hardly did anything on my Xbox, and I did a little bit of Phantasy Star New Genesis last year. That's the only thing I did. Everything was just Netflix and watching movies with my daughter. That's the only thing I did last year. But this year, I've been playing my Xbox more than anything as far as console-wise. Well, my Xbox, first, I played my Switch more, followed by the Xbox. And the only thing I touched on my PS5 was, Elden Ring. And I only played Elden Ring for a couple of days. Yeah, like Google Stadia. Google Stadia fucked up on their own. Because, first of all, the stupidest thing they have ever done was to make people rebuy games that they already purchased but on Stadia. 2, like I said, they had to take a chance. I give them credit for taking the chance to do cloud gaming. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to step on that sword. You know what I'm saying? Somebody has to do it. So I commend them. That's the first step. Then of course there's going to be other competitors. There's going to be other people out there that's going to want to try it and take a chance with it. That's the only way that the technology is going to get better, and people are going to problem solve to make it better. But I thought when I first saw Google Stadia, I was going to get Google Stadia, but something told me to sit back on it and just wait. Because one, I want to see the games. Because I got good internet, so I wasn't worried about that. But I want to see the game selection and what's going to be available for it before I make that jump over to it, you know? To give it a try, to have it. And I was going to do a whole video impressions on it for the channel and stuff like that. But at the last minute, I decided not to. And and I'm glad I did. It says a lot, man. Like, when you got Nova say happy Christmas, Nova. But yeah, it says a lot about the current state of gaming. You got people you got Nova saying the same thing. He barely games. Like, I just started gaming because I found my passion for JRPGs has been reinvigorated. So I've been going back playing my JRPGs. You guys have been seeing the growth on my channel, and I've been playing a lot of games. I've been getting a lot more into it. But for a long time, man, gaming just, I was like, you know, it just wasn't there, you know? He said, Google has a bad habit of canning projects, so I avoid Stadia. Honestly, I prioritize PC over it. Like, yeah, well, no. I mean, look, PJ, ever since I've known you, you do everything PC. And it's always been a smart choice. Like, I haven't fully went to PC until I actually got into actually upgrading my PC. Once I got into actually upgrading my PC, I started seeing the wonders of the PC. More so specifically fighting games. Like I said to you before, I have a whole bunch of Xbox 360 arcade sticks and a lot of other things. And what made me mad was the moment that I got a PS4, I went from a 360 to a PS4. I couldn't use none of my all those 200 to 150 to $200 arcade sticks were all obsolete. Couldn't use them. My brothers, like, they didn't want to go out and spend a bunch of money on fight sticks, but I had a bunch of fight sticks, so they couldn't use the sticks that I had because then I could have gave them all a stick to use. But with the PC, I can plug in any arcade stick and use any one. I have a BlazBlue stick. I have a Super Street Fighter 4 stick, a Marvel vs. Capcom stick. I have a Tatsunoko vs. Capcom stick. I have all these arcade sticks that I collected throughout the course of time. My Obsidian stick, all kinds of stuff. I have a Hori EX stick. I have all these different sticks that I can use on my PC. Love it. And then with fighting games, man, I just love the experience of fighting games on the PC. So that's what made me now. I started realizing that I started slowly but surely going over to game on PC. And then what definitely got me gaming a lot on PC right now, I finally got into Cyberpunk 2077. Loved the hell out of it. And this is actually the first game where I'm actually using mouse and keyboard to play a PC game. I don't really do mouse and keyboard. I always want to get into mouse and keyboard, especially for first-person shooters. But I'm, me, man. I'm a controller guy, and then I end up getting a Xbox Series X controller, for specifically to play on my PC as well for certain games, like when I play multiverses and stuff like that. But I started playing Cyberpunk, and I'm actually loving mouse and keyboard. I love how it feels and stuff, man. I put my headphones on, have my LEDs on, turn my lights off, and just have the LEDs on. I'm just lost in the world of Night City and stuff. And I'm gonna do a whole video on Cyberpunk 2077 with my experience with it so far and what I like about the game. I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, I never said that you can watch all my past streams and past videos. I never said the game was bad. I just said I'm not buying this game until they fix it. And I'm glad I waited this long and actually playing this game. I'm really enjoying Night City. Night City feels like a real life breathing world and stuff like that. And I feel really immersed in it, but I'll leave all that for a video on its own when I collect more gameplay footage and stuff, so I can actually make a video on Cyberpunk 2077. And I definitely want to get enough of it in and beat the game before the big expansion. What's it called? Something Phantom Liberty. Phantom Liberty come out and stuff. For the PC and the consoles and stuff. So I'm definitely enjoying it. But yeah, I'm slowly but surely getting into PC gaming. The thing is, the reason why I don't do much PC gaming because I'm a physical guy. I love physical collections, and most people, you don't really collect anything physical on your PC. You go on Steam, you just download the games, they're on your hard drive. But I do love that physical. I love to have my collection stacked up and stuff like that, and I can always go in and grab it and play it whenever I want. But we slowly getting to a point where physical gaming is going to be irrelevant, is because now what they're doing is, what I'm starting to realize and discover, is that you still really don't own the game physical, because the whole game is not really on the disc. You download a portion of the game on the disc, and then you get the rest of the data installed in your hard drive from the internet. So if you don't get the latest patch or anything like that, your game is pretty much obsolete anyway, even though you have it physical. So we're slowly getting to that point where having the disc ain't going to matter much, because the game itself is not really on the disc. You just got some data on it. I love when games. I love it when games get delisted. You said your first Steam game was a Blur. Yeah, like my problem with Steam is the same problem I have with Game Pass. And I said this on my Twitter. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitter, just go to Twitter and just type in Mugen Lord, and you guys can follow me on Twitter if you have a Twitter account. Because I'll be having some like controversial takes on my Twitter and stuff like that, and I love the engagements that's on there. So even though you don't see me post anything on YouTube, I'm always on Twitter, so you can always catch me on there too. You can always hear my latest take on something or whatever like that. But like I said on my Twitter earlier today, I said the problem that I have with Steam is a similar problem I have with Game Pass. I don't have Game Pass. I have no need for Game Pass. I have no interest in Game Pass, and not because Game Pass is bad. It's the simple fact is, Game Pass is like Steam. When I finally got into Steam, Steam became like a drug, where all these Steam sales would come up, and I have access to all these games. And the problem with me with Steam is I will catch all these sales. I mean, good sales, like sales you just cannot pass up on. And I found myself just buying games, but not playing them. And if I am playing, I'm not even finishing them because I will turn that game off and jump on to the next game and play that. And it's like somehow as a gamer for me, it just messes up my focus, and I end up not playing or completing any of them because I'm just buying them, and I just got a whole library of games I haven't even installed. I'm just buying them because they're sales. And that's how I feel with Game Pass, where you have a whole library of games. Will you ever play in any of them, any or all of them? My brother Keel Lantern and DX Strike had the Game Pass, right? And they end up canceling their Game Pass. This is the problem they got into too. They got Game Pass. I remember when we all opened up, because like I said, we pre-ordered our Series X. We all picked it up day one. When they did the overnight release, we went home. These guys, they set theirs up right away. I didn't set mine up. I waited till Christmas to set mine up. They set theirs up right away. And the first thing they did when they set it up was they got the Game Pass. And man, while they did DX Strike and Keel Lantern, man, these dudes went crazy. They was like an addict. Man, they said, yo, I can download this. I can install this. Man, they was just downloading games. I went downstairs and I looked at both of their television screens. They're playing one game. I go upstairs. 5 minutes later, I come back downstairs. They're playing a totally different game. And then they just going installing games. They just installing games, playing games. And they got to the point where they completed none of them. They're just installing games, but not completing any of them. They're just switching games after switching games after switching games. And that's the problem I have with Steam. And then after a while, they said, "Yo, man, like I'm playing all these games, but I'm not sitting down actually playing all of them because I have a whole bunch of games at my disposal." Said back in 2019 that they would explore Midgard on 2 discs, only to find out that the first disc was only installation. Yeah. When they said the 2 discs, I was confused. I popped the disc in on Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was 2 discs, and I was like, wait a minute. So the whole entire download, yeah, only to find out the first disc was only the installation disc. I was like, what the hell? Yeah, man. So like I said, you gotta watch these developers, man. They oversell shit. Make it more than what it is. Crazy. Whew. But anyway, guys, I gotta get ready to go. I'm gonna hop on some VR, and then by the time I'm done with that, we'll be ready to eat some Christmas dinner and enjoy the rest of the Christmas holiday. So hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We was almost hitting 3 hours and stuff. I'm not going to delete this stream. This stream will be on the channel. You go to the live stream tab, and if you missed it, you can just come and rewatch the stream if you like. So that's the Christmas present for you guys. This stream will remain on here for you guys. It will be archived and remain on here for you guys for the Christmas holiday. So I hope you guys have really, really enjoyed this stream. I had a good time with you guys. It was really, really fun, and I hope you guys have a fun Christmas holiday, Christmas dinner. And I'll definitely be seeing you Game Fiends later.